Yo, what's good, everyone, man? Good afternoon for most of you, maybe still morning for some of you. And if you're on my side of the world, well, good night. Yeah, it's really late for me out here, man. Midnight out here. But I got to get this live in because tomorrow, and quite frankly, most of this week, I'm quite busy. The fight is still quite fresh in our minds from last night. And, I've been thinking about some things and I've been watching obviously some videos online and uh some of it positive, some of it negative. Well, a lot of it negative, unfortunately. Some positive. A lot of people, Canelo and Plant fans, enjoyed the fight. A lot of people giving Plant credit for what he did. Some people saying that, Plant proved himself as a worthy opponent. But unfortunately, there was still a very large amount of people discrediting Plant and deciding to take that route. So before I get into the main discussion today, if you guys were able to join me, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, get the likes all the way up. You guys know the drill. There's a poll going on now in the chat. Make sure you guys vote in that poll because Canelo fans, I promise you, will jump up in here and, vote in the poll, hit the dislike button, and roll out. So make sure your voice is heard. The poll's simple. How would you rate Caleb Plant's performance against Canelo? He did great. Canelo's just better. He did so-so. Still easy for Canelo. Or he did terrible, and Canelo smashed him. Let me know in the chat, or in the poll, rather, on how you feel about Caleb Plant's performance. We got SM, an official member of the channel, in the building. I appreciate you for stopping by. Razor531. Razor says, I stopped watching the fight after Caleb began to slow down and wasn't as active, and then watched the rest of UFC 268. Yeah, I hear you. I was invested into Canelo and Plant. Obviously, I was commentating live during the fight, and I'm not really a UFC fan. Nothing against the UFC. I'm just a boxing fan, man. And even though Caleb Plant was slowing down, I still thought that he was in the fight. I don't think he was outclassed. I don't think that he was getting beat up and it was becoming embarrassing. But we're going to talk about that here in a moment. Trust me, we're going to talk about that. Rafael Velasco Jr. says Caleb used the Philly shell too much. Canelo knew where his head would be for the left hook. Canelo did what we all thought he would, KO lower opposition. Yeah, he did figure out Plant's defense towards the end of the fight. I agree with that. He's expected to do that. He's a fighter with much more experience as a professional, has been in the spotlight much more than Caleb Plant. So am I surprised? No. Am I willing to go as far as saying that Caleb wasn't a worthy opponent? Absolutely not. So that's just where I put that. Deanna Branch in the building. Hey, by the way, Deanna, not only I got to give you your recognition for being an official member of the channel, as always, but also I appreciate you dropping by and dropping some comments on my later videos. And one video in particular you revisited, and I think a lot of you guys should. Deanna took the liberty to go and revisit my breakdown video of this fight with myself and Brian Macy doing some stimulation sparring. And it's pretty spot on. Everything that I said in that video pretty much happened. So anybody out there, Divine Sense doesn't know about boxing, Divine Sense is crazy, Divine Sense doesn't know what he's talking about. I make videos like no other content creators out here. Period. Period. And I'm not disgruntled because of the result at all. I'm really not, because I predicted Canelo to win, so why would I be? But I am disgruntled about a few things, and we're going to touch on that today. So stick around at least for a little bit. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fire. Devin Blocker in the building. Salute to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. A Condo in the building. Always good to see you in the chat, my man. Condo, let me know what you thought about the fight, bro. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Cristiano in the building. Cristiano says, I think Plant did great. Plant obviously did some things wrong, but he was in the fight with Canelo up till the very end. That's fair. That is fair. So you would say that Caleb is a worthy opponent, yes? Hustler Slim in the building. Haven't seen you in a while on the videos, man. Maybe you here in the background, but I haven't seen you comment in a while. It's good to see you. He says, salute to the chat. Plant did well, and that lapse in concentration just got him hurt, carried his hand and too far back and low, and he didn't roll that hook. But proud of Plant. F those cards. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about that. Woo, we're going to talk about that. Terry Smoot Jr. in the building. Thanks for dropping by. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Get the likes all the way up. I don't know how we have 24 people in here, but only 12 likes. I understand people can't comment because they're not subscribed to the channel. But just want to make sure that everybody who is subscribed to the channel is smashing that like button because it does go a long way. There's a poll in the chat as well. If you don't see it, go ahead and make your voice heard and vote in the poll. And Acondo giving me his thoughts. He says Caleb stopped letting his hands go. That opened the door for Canelo. But Plant was styling on Canelo most of the fight until he got in counter mode. That opened the door for Canelo. It was a good fight. No problem with that assessment whatsoever. Did Plant box perfectly? No, he didn't, because if he did, he would have won the fight. But I told you guys leading into the fight, although I predicted Canelo, I'm rooting for Plant. And for Plant to win, he's got to box perfectly in capital letters, quotation marks, underline, bold, perfectly, or knock out Canelo. And these scorecards that I'm about to share with you guys right now, because we're going to break it down all the way down to the root. Those scorecards that were produced leading up to the knockout is going to tell you exactly why I made my prediction for Canelo. So we're going to get into that. I'm just waiting for everyone to get their notifications and start filing in here. You know, YouTube be on the shenanigans. So I'll make sure everyone gets in here. Ricky Williams, bro. I know you got a mouthful, bro. I know you got a mouthful, man. Yeah, I know you're going heavy for Plant, man. I hear you, bro. I hear you. But you know what, man? I'm not really that disappointed about it, really, as far as Plant's concerned. I'm not disappointed at all. I am disappointed about some of the corrupt nature involved, which I will definitely be speaking about. I got to get some background music for this, man. I got to get in the mode, man. All right, cool. Yeah, Ricky, if you available, bro, let's do it. Big Dog Willie in the building. Andrew Charles in the building. What's good? Yo, there's the chat for the family. Want to jump in? Click it. Any trolls out there trying to slip in here and try to cause some ruckus, you got to verify yourself. And if you do try to pull some slimy, dirty, grimy shit, my wrenches will banish you to the Phantom Zone, and I will as well. So don't try it. Puro Sur Central. What's good, bro? Thanks for dropping by, man. Yeah. My man Rick.
What's happening? Peace to the gods and goddesses. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How'd you sleep last night?
I slept like a baby, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not the one getting hit in the face, God. It's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But hey, let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna let you warm it up, and we'll get on it, man.
We gonna warm it up. I see my man Big Dog Willie wants to get up in here too. What's up?
What's happening? What's happening?
How you doing,
yes,
guys?
Sir.
What's good? What's good?
Everything's everything.
You hear us okay, Big Dog?
Yeah, my phone's acting up, so if I cut in and out, then you'll know why.
Yeah, if you can get up on that Wi-Fi, that'll be great.
All right, let me try to do that.
Yeah. C Wood in the building. What's good, man? I see you. Look, so we got my man Ricky in here. We got Big Dog. So you know it's about to get lit. But let me get this out there so we can jump on this. All right. I want to make something crystal clear for all those in the back peeking through the bushes and the blinds, because you know the Canelo fans, they're out there having a fiesta all night last night. They're probably still drunk.
Wish they should.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, the man's undisputed. I have zero problem with it. I'm going to lay that out there right now. Zero. Congratulations to the man. But I'm going to tell you guys why I'm going live right now. Corruption in boxing is at a whole new level. It's disgusting.
It's up.
It's pitiful.
Corruption is up.
It's disgraceful.
It's up.
So anybody, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna hit you guys in the heart a little bit. It might hurt a little bit, but I have to say it. Anybody who bet on this fight, especially those who put big money on this fight, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly why I didn't do that. I bet a couple hundo, but that's nothing for me, man. That's nothing. I'm talking about the people that put 1K, 2K. My boy back home put 5K on this fight. And I'm going to tell you guys why I didn't go that hard. I would put 200 on like shit. Why not? 200, roll in a little bit of extra money on the top if I get lucky. But I'm going to tell you why I didn't go heavy. Because I know the sport of boxing too damn well. Not only did Caleb Plant need to box perfectly, as I said earlier, in capital letters, bold, underline, in quotation marks, he basically needed to knock him out. And the scorecards that were produced up until the point of the knockout proves that. Every single person that I have spoken to who was going for Plant, or even those who were just boxing fans, didn't really have a horse in the race or a dog in the fight. They had it. Maybe a few people had it like Canelo up by 1 round. Some people had Plant up by 1 round. A few people had it a draw. I can live with that. I don't like it, but I can live with that. I'll tell you guys right now, I had it 6-4. 6 for Plant, 4 for Canelo leading up to the knockout.
Yep.
Okay. I've heard a lot of people say they only gave Canelo 1 or 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me just say that. And I was originally commentating live, right? Watching the fight, and I'm like, man, this is good. I mean, stylistically, it's a great fight. Boxer against boxer puncher. Commentating, entertaining, and I'm on the edge of my seat. Of course, Plant gets caught. That happens in boxing. And the main reason why that happened is because of experience. Y'all need to rewind the tape and remember what Floyd Mayweather said when he beat Canelo. He said, I won because of experience. That's what Mayweather said to Fight Hype after the fight. I won because of experience. I knew how to control the pace of the fight. That's what happened last night. 11th round, Caleb was starting to fatigue. He wasn't as sharp, slipping those punches anymore. Legs are getting tired. He got caught. It happens. Now, I was originally upset, and I started getting irate because I personally, and I'll let you guys speak on it, I didn't like the stoppage, personally. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why first. Normally, in a championship fight, and in this case, going for undisputed, everything's on the line. A referee will at least, at the minimum, and we're not talking about a situation where Plant was getting beat up in the fight. We're not talking about a situation where Plant was knocked down earlier in the fight. We're not talking about a situation where Plant is showing signs of him not being able to fight. He's in the fight. First knockdown. I don't know why he went running across the ring. That was a bit strange. But he was able to do it. Second knockdown. He's actually making Canelo miss a few shots. Unfortunately, he gets hit with the big right hand. He goes down again. Normally, a referee in that situation, at this pinnacle, at this peak of boxing, they will at least check the timekeeper and pick up a count. They'll look at the fighter and say, all right, this fighter, he's done. They wave it off. Russell Mora, remind you, for those of you who forgot, who let one fighter punch another fighter in the balls 25 times and never took a point away about 10 years ago, and never was punished for it. Wilder Fury. Fury gets knocked down twice in the 4th round. He let Fury get up both times. He went all the way to the 8 count 2 times. Right? There was some controversy there because Wilder went to the wrong corner. The count was stopped. Blah, blah, blah. Right? But I'm not bringing it to that. But all I'm saying is the inconsistencies of Russell Mora. He goes down, doesn't count, waves it off. So at that point, I was upset. I was like, you can't stop a fight like that in the 11th round. If he gets up, and you can see in the tape, he's already on the way up. He's trying to get up. If that was Canelo, they would have let him get up. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But if it's Plant, it's like, he's hurt. He's done. It's done. If he gets up and takes a couple more big shots, okay, cool, you can call it. All right, it's done. But if he somehow survives that round and goes into the 12th round, which is the last round of the fight, Plant might be on his bicycle and just try to survive, but at least the man goes out with some dignity and survives the fight, which nobody thought he would do. So that's where I stand on that. Then, as I'm ending my live stream, the scorecards come out. Then I really lost my shit. For those of you who don't know, the scorecards leading up to the knockdown was one judge had it 93-97 for Canelo. The other judge had it 92-98 for Canelo. And the other judge had it 94-96 for Canelo. All three for Canelo. One judge, I'll put it up on the screen and I'll let the two distinguished gentlemen say their thoughts. Put it up on the screen right here so you guys can see the actual scorecard so you don't accuse me, this guy's crazy. That's not true. There you go. So let me take off this banner right quick so you guys can see the little part. Stephen Winesfield, far left, on my left. He only gave Plant
1 round.
2 rounds. Sorry. He gave him the first and the 9th. And the crazy thing about the 9th round, actually, I did give it to Plant. I apologize. I want to say, I gave that shit to Canelo. I did give the 9th round to Plant as well. But he gave him 2 rounds. Patricia Morse Jarman gave Caleb 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. She gave him the 9th and the 10th round, surprisingly. But only 4. Dave Moretti gave Plant 3 rounds. Now, I'm sorry. I can't accept that. I can't accept that. That is disgraceful, and it's a spit in the face for any man who has a style like Caleb Plant. The slick style, being elusive, fighting behind a jab, and just because he doesn't have power, that's how you're going to do the man. That's how you're going to do him. That's how you're going to do him, right? What Steve Winesfield gave him 2 rounds, people. 2. So even if Caleb Plant boxed beautifully for the 11th and the 12th round and survived the fight, he still would have lost. By a large margin. And please let me remind everybody that in the Floyd Mayweather fight, one judge scored it a draw. Yes, that judge was banished from the sport. Thank God. But we're back at it again. I'm going to swing it over to Ricky, man. Let the people know what you're feeling right now.
Hey, man. Again. Look, bro. We already knew what the deal was. That's the whole thing, right? If y'all was on my channel, again, shout out to my boy Divine Sense, everybody. Y'all know everybody in the chat. Peace to the gods and goddesses in the world. The only worry I had about Caleb being able to outbox Canelo was staying switched on at all times. Right? He stayed switched off for a second when he got caught. Like you said, that's experience. Canelo's a professional. We can't knock that. And again, first and foremost, congratulations for Canelo for unifying the division. Right? But, and however, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to y'all about scoring. That power shot stuff they be showing y'all, you know that's a punch is a punch, and a punch is a punch in boxing. Y'all know that, right? Right? So those power shot stats that Showtime is showing you don't count, bro. A landed punch is a landed punch, right? Defense. Who had the better defense in that fight last night? Y'all say ring generalship, and everybody's hearing, oh, Canelo's a master at cutting off the ring. Where was that cutting off the ring last night? Who looked like they were supposed to look in that fight? Because from what y'all been telling us, as you know, the people who actually take context in the boxing and actually examine the fighters, right? Y'all been telling us, hey, Caleb should get stopped within 5 rounds. At the most 8.
Easy fight.
Right? This guy's worse than Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe slicker than Caleb. right? Canelo didn't do anything until the 6th round of the fight, guys. I don't care if he's coming forward, if he's not effective. That's called effective aggression. But the whole thing about this is this, bro. No matter what, Caleb needed a knockout. That's what y'all not realizing, all y'all Canelo fans. Yeah, Canelo caught him. Hey, congratulations to him, bro. But what is this saying about? Look,
Canelo did what he had to do. It is what I mean.
Hey, Divine, if we keeping it at 1K all the way, Eddie Reynoso was snapping because they felt they was behind on the cards.
True story.
Right? But this the real problem. Let me tell y'all the real problem. And this is with the fans and boxing. This is with the fans and boxing, right? You got a fighter like look, Caleb's Plant came up from the mud, right? Who don't have a machine of boxing behind him. Right? Canelo has the machine of boxing behind him. Right? Come up, make his way to become IBF champion, right? What does that mean for a technical fighter, or any fighter for that matter, but because they're not the favorite, but because they're not the darling, bro, that even if they have a great showing, they still gonna lose. Right? Even if they do everything they're supposed to do the right way, they still gonna lose. Then y'all want to complain about, oh, these fighters in it just for the money. What they're supposed to be in it for then? If no matter what, you can kill a man's dreams because he's not the popular fighter guy. Because he don't have a business of boxing behind him. That's what y'all messing up with. Did Canelo catch him? Yes, he did. But these scorecards are egregious at best, bro. They're egregious at best. He didn't do anything until the 6th round. So how is it that Caleb Plant only got 2 rounds on one card? Caleb Plant was active with the jab, had active defense, was countering Canelo with clean right hands for the first half of the fight. Every time he tried to shoot that left, Caleb would catch and shoot with the right hand.
Canelo was swinging at air.
Yeah, that was
y'all
swinging at air.
This is the problem with real boxing. Like I said, this is the problem with boxing.
Hey, you know what? They treated, based off this scorecard, they treated Plant just like how they treated Rigondeaux when he fought Casimiro.
No matter what he did, he could have schooled Canelo the entire 12 rounds. He would have still lost.
Yeah. How many left hooks did Canelo miss?
Too many. How many?
Way too many.
How many did he get counter off with that right hand? They wasn't called. Why is it that when they showing highlights trying to hype Canelo up, they trying to go to the slow-mos to hype Canelo up, and every shot they was about to say he landed, he missed. Oh man, look, he missed that, but then he caught him with a jab. But y'all keep judging these people. It don't matter what happened at the boxing, bro. Y'all still supposed to hold these fighters accountable.
It doesn't work like that nowadays, man. It doesn't work like that. I when I first seen this, I knew, like, even if Caleb, like you said, Caleb had to knock him out, which we all knew he couldn't knock him out because he just don't have the power. It was sad because I knew Caleb, and I'll be honest with you, Caleb dug down in that, that uppercut was coming. I seen that I knew that what's his name was waiting for the uppercut, and he was just waiting for the timer because he missed that uppercut a couple of times on Caleb. And when he finally caught him with the uppercut, I knew it. He was timing that shit, and he just kept barely missing him.
Yeah, he was waiting for it.
I seen him throw it a couple of times. Like, oh man, Caleb, be careful, he's gonna get caught with that. And when like in the later rounds, guess what happened? When Caleb got tired, that was it. I knew that fight. First of all, I'm looking at the scorecards, and all those 9s in from round 2 on all 3 scorecards from like 9 from round like 7. It was like he only won the first round, and then he just lost a whole bunch of rounds. Like, hold on, how? I don't see that. I didn't see that at all. I seen that Caleb Plant was jabbing him, countering him, moving around the ring, and I just seen Canelo just stalking him, throwing left hooks and missing him. That's all I seen him do. And then when he get close on him, he just kind of bull rushed him and threw left hooks at his bodies. And him and Canelo was, and Plant was blocking a lot of those body shots too. And a lot of them.
His left arm.
But you know what? They gave it to Canelo anyway.
But I warn people, it'll be Plant slipping, sliding, landing 3 or 4 punches, and Canelo will land one big thudding shot, and the crowd will go, ooh, and the judges give him. The judge will give it to him. The judges love that. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I can't.
What I want people to understand, because trust me, there are Canelo fans watching right now. They can't comment because they're not subscribed. Sorry, not sorry.
Like, what fights y'all be watching? That's what's crazy to me, bro. What fights y'all be watching, bro? Which fighter looked like they self and which didn't?
They're not boxing fans. They're Canelo fans. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem.
Canelo ain't look nothing like these other fights he didn't fought the last 4 or 5 years, bro. Canelo was frustrated in the 6th round, bro. Like, what y'all be watching?
He knew he was behind. Like, he knew that he might get him in the late rounds. I kind of sensed that, but at the same time, he was worried. It was harder than what he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he was in there against a real 168 pounder. That's why. None of this 160 moving up bullshit. He was in there against a man that can deal with them. It's just unfortunate that Plant got a little bit gassed out, but Plant was putting a lot of energy in the clinch.
Yep.
A lot of energy wrestling around with Canelo.
Canelo is strong as shit, though.
Yeah, he is.
His build. He's built like a wrestler. Big neck, short legs, short arms. Just holds on to you, puts his weight on you. You know, Caleb's tall, man. You make that trunk bend over, that long body's gonna get tired.
I'm sick of people, bro. Like, they see, like, coming forward does not win a fight. You just coming forward does not win a fight, bro. What part of Canelo was controlling the pace because he coming forward, getting hit with a jab and missing? How was that effective aggression?
You know what? Triple G did that shit. He didn't win.
How was that effective aggression? But it's because it's Canelo. Now it's all gravy, baby.
But then Triple G did that shit against Canelo and he didn't win, right?
Yeah.
And then Triple G did that against Canelo and he didn't win. Yeah. He went forward and Canelo's running around the ring. But Canelo ended up getting a nod.
Facts.
Or he got
what I want to say, man, because like I said, there was Canelo fans. As a matter of fact, somebody get this whatever this dude is, Psycho Fire, whatever the hell, get him the fuck out of here. It's not that we're mad at the decision. We're not mad at the result. I'm speaking for myself. I'm fine with Canelo winning the fight. He did what he had to do. Am I blaming Canelo for these atrocious scorecards? I'm assuming that he's not involved with it. I'm assuming that he's in there doing what he's got to do. There's always he's up against Canelo. There's always a strong chance of getting caught late. I'm fine with it.
That happens to any fighter, bro. I'm not tripping off that. What I'm saying is that how can y'all keep giving these fighters passes, bro, when y'all know they got the machine behind them, bro?
Grammarly?
Y'all know the machine is behind Canelo, bro. Them scorecards, if you really honestly love boxing and you understand how to score boxing and how fights look, bro, you know that scorecard was atrocious, bro. I'm so tired of seeing these so-called fans and people that say they know boxing. Oh, Canelo round 1. How did he win round 1? How did he win round 2? He didn't do nothing.
Some of those scorecards, he won like from round 1 all the way to like round 5. Round 6.
Talking about this it don't even make it's so egregious. It don't make no sense. But these people, because y'all behind Canelo, y'all so have the need to be right that y'all can't even be objective nor subjective about any situation. We already said on my channel, I done told everybody, bro. I'm not saying Canelo can't win. I never said that. I never said that Canelo can't win. I said that, and I'm the one, divine sense to tell y'all. I said that Plant has to stop Canelo to win the fight. I said that. I put money on Plant to stop Canelo to win the fight.
Yeah, you did?
Yes, because I put my money where my mouth is. Win or lose.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I knew, like, it's kind of like I knew Canelo was going to win because I knew that Plant couldn't knock Canelo out, and I knew when it got to the scorecards, I knew it was that was just a foregone conclusion when it got to the scorecards, if it got to the scorecards.
And that's what I'm saying, big dog. So if this is where we're at in boxing, what's the point of us even watching?
For real.
That's just real. Honest, right? Well, that means we need to stop. And this what I'm about to start doing. I'm just being honest with y'all. These big fights with these fighters, we know that's rigged, bro. I'm not giving them my money no more, bro. I'm just being honest with you, bro. What's the point of a fighter building himself up to get to this point when because he's not the popular fighter, he's gonna get shitted on? Looking at these cards, even though we all know we didn't watch boxing, we didn't watch Floyd, we didn't watch Sugar Ray, we didn't watch Pernell Whitaker, Prince Nassim, Hamed, Willie Pep. So you telling me now in this game, it doesn't matter how good a boxer is, if you're not the one that they want to win, you're not gonna win.
Yep. And this scorecard right here is a spit in the face to Sweet Pea. To Willie Pep,
to Floyd,
to all those Floyd Mayweather, all those slick boxers who had an elusive style that made you miss and made you pay. They aren't known. Willie Pep and Sweet Pea and Floyd, they're not known for power. They're known for boxing prowess. They won fights by decision based off of their ring IQ. What people have to understand is it's not the result that we are upset about. Congratulations to Canelo. But if Plant boxes in the 11th and 12th round, similar how he boxed, if he got a second wind, let's say, and he boxed beautifully for the 11th and 12th round, he would have got robbed. He would have been robbed.
It would have been a totally different discussion, Divine. Y'all would have been like, that's what we saying, bro. Like, we not arguing the results. Canelo did what he's supposed to do as a fighter, bro. However, if this fight went 12, it would have been a cold ass robbery. And the same people that's saying Canelo knocked him out, he's y'all would have been the same one talking about it wasn't no robbery when y'all know it's a robbery.
He
Exactly.
didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance to win.
He had one chance to stop him. He had one chance.
That wasn't a chance, though. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah, and if you guys go through the Matrix on Twitter or Instagram, the amount of people saying that, oh, Canelo whooped his ass, Canelo made easy work of him, Plan ain't shit, this, that, or whatever, and I'm just like, am I living in the Matrix? Am I going to Alice in Wonderland? What has boxing become?
That's what I'm saying. And we keep saying that, oh, we want these fighters to fight for legacy. For what? For what? Why? Because if they not the so-called chosen one, you gonna lose anyway, unless you stop a motherfucker. And if you stop a motherfucker, hell, he might get a long count and get the fuck up.
Russell Mora, people.
Y'all,
how does he? First off, even if you agree with the stoppage, my question is, why is he getting two big pay-per-view fights back to back? Back to back. When has that ever happened?
After not reffing for how many years, bro? A judge and Steve Weinfeld, who traditionally likes a fighter like Floyd Mayweather. But it's all this all Canelo, right? This all Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yo, let's take another look at it right here. Look. Steven Weisfeld, right? He gave Plant the first round, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He gave it to Canelo. 8 rounds in a row. And then this 9th round right here, I think that's just like, oh, I should just give him one more because it looks bad if I don't.
Yeah. And I don't think he won that round. No, I mean, that's it.
Yeah. And then Dave Moretti is what Ricky Williams was talking about. Dave Moretti scored the fight for Floyd in the Canelo fight, right? And he only gave Plant 3 rounds.
This shit is egregious, man. When you look at them cards, that shit is egregious, bro.
How do you win 2 from 7? That's what I don't understand. I can see the later rounds, but this
shit is egregious, man. Like I said, I don't care because I'm not the one getting hit in the face. I don't care, bro. I don't know what people don't understand about that, bro. But this shit, the way they do fighters who ain't got the machine, but this shit is egregious, bro. This shit is egregious. I can't think of no other word for it. It's fucking insanity. And these people that, again, y'all because it's your favorite fighter, y'all feel such the need to be right. Y'all can't even be honest about what you saw in front of them. You know what I saw last night? I saw Canelo in a competitive fight, the most competitive fight I seen him in the last 5 years. He was getting his socks boxed off in the first half of the fight. Caleb Plant got tired, called it tired, exhausted, switched off, whatever, and Canelo caught him because they knew or they kind of felt they was behind on the card. That's what I saw last night.
Yep.
That's the fight.
And eye to eye, he says, I usually do the look test, whose face looks worse. I don't agree with that. Some people swell up and cut more than others.
I don't know, man. It's almost hard to see who's going to beat this guy now.
Nobody at 168.
Nobody at 168.
Charlo moves up or something
I don't think Charlo can beat him.
And I don't think Charlo wants him anyways. He's all talk, in my opinion.
You got to stop him, bro. The Charlos is cap, man. And y'all know I used to route. The Charlos is cap.
Yeah, they are. Well, the only person I can think is Benavidez.
Man.
And that's going to be a shootout.
He ain't going to fight. Well, Benavidez, if he wins his next fight, he forces the IBF and the WBC Mando.
But here's the thing. Benavidez has what Plant doesn't, which is punching power.
Yeah.
But Plant has something that Benavidez doesn't have, which is boxing skill.
And defense. I don't think Benavidez got that much defense at all.
Benavidez will get touched up. It'll be a matter of who hits hardest.
Who get caught first. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only advantage at Benavidez, he's a true 168er as well, and he actually has trouble making 168. He'll be the bigger man.
And way taller. You know
way taller, but
he fight.
What people need to understand about Canelo is he's learned. Oh, I've noticed this about him. He conserves his energy really well.
Yeah.
You know, he's slip and slide in, and he punches hard in spots. But it's like he knows he can throw whatever, but if I land a big hard shot, the judges are gonna like that. It's like he's figured out the system. And in the meantime, he conserves that energy, and he just had a little bit more energy than Plant in that 11th round. He was a little bit more fresh, and that's why he was able. But that's why I was saying, right, if somehow Plant was given the benefit of the doubt and survived that 11th round, Canelo put a lot of energy to finish him.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot. And if that 12th round would have happened,
Canelo would have ran.
I think it would have been an even round probably. I don't think Plant would have got his 1 minute on the stool, recovered, but their energy levels will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because Canelo put everything he had into stopping Plant.
I mean, which he should. I he really want to stop him. He should do that. But if you know you got that scorecard behind you, you can do that.
And I'm tired of hearing these shit. People keep saying scoring wasn't supposed to be subjective. They have the scoring down. You know the what's the word I'm looking for? They have the rules of scoring for a reason. Because if that's the case, what's the point of having them? Exactly. Right. That power punch shit supposed to count like a jab in the whatever punch lands cleanly, clean effective punching. It don't say clean effective power punching.
Yeah. And they were riding that wave hard. Oh, but Canelo threw more power shots. It's not a strongman competition.
This ain't no way.
Go watch powerlifting.
Right. Ain't no
It's boxing.
Oh,
It's the Rocky syndrome. That's what I call it, the Rocky syndrome. It's just
my man Stormy B in the building. He says this is another reason why boxing suffers. People aren't educated on how the sport is scored, and the agenda pushing network commentators, aka Showtime, disgraceful commentating.
God, that shit was awful, bro. Like Morello needs to be smacked, bro. Like what is that? Must be like in Canelo's contract paperwork or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, I need this, and when the commentator's talking, I need my nuts licked. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I'm like, what fight? What do y'all be watching?
Did you hear what they were saying?
Yeah.
Did you hear what they were saying? I was watching Showtime for a little bit, and I had to mute their ass. I couldn't take it.
I can't do
but
it.
They were like, they were like, oh, if Canelo lands one more punch, the crowd's gonna go crazy. Oh yeah, Canelo's looking strong. Oh, look at that body shot. Oh yeah, you know, Plant's he's got a little shoulder roll defense, but he's hurt. I'm like, it's the third round. Shut up.
Sitting up there, he catching shots. Oh, look at that hook, but they don't catch. Look at the hook, even though it's hitting all glove, and he getting hit with a right hand right after, bro. He was the first half of the fight. He was catching and shooting the hell out of Canelo, bro. She was catching.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, well, it was clockwork too, every single time, and you can see it coming too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What fighters y'all watching? These people again. It's because 99% of y'all sheep. I understand. Y'all don't know how to think, so y'all let other people think for you, right? So the commentary is gospel, even though that's the reason they call them color commentators, because they color the fight.
Oh yeah, yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Paint your imagination.
Canelo didn't win any round between 1 and 6. I don't care what nobody say. I know how to score boxing. I know boxing when I'm watching it.
No, that was bullshit. That was bullshit.
Now,
PBC, I mean, when you have a scorecard like that, you're going to win.
Come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was upset about the stoppage, and I was like, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, and I was getting ready to give Canelo his props, and then people in the chat started dropping the scorecards, and I'm like, nah, hell no. So you're telling me if Canelo didn't get that little left hook in there, and this shit went 12 rounds, they're gonna rob Plant like that?
He
like
lost bad. He would have been down bad in these streets. And everybody,
hey Ricky, you know what I told people? You know, I told my listeners last night. I said, if this boxing match was held in a local boxing gym in Chicago or DC or Virginia or LA, Canelo will get laughed out of the gym.
Ain't no way, bro.
Bro, I mean, maybe not laughed out of the gym, but like, you ain't gonna win that fight.
It was like,
you know what I'm saying? You got screaming Canelo fans. You got 15,000 Canelo fans screaming in the building. Every time you throw a left hook to the body, it's like he's throwing this thunderous Zeus almighty thunderbolt shot. And it's like, yeah, and a lot of times it's blocked. I'm like, he blocking that shit.
Man. Caleb's defense in the first half of that fight was crispy, bro. He was crispy. That jab was crispy. He was keeping that distance, bro. That right hand counter was on point, bro. Like, what y'all be watching, man? Y'all depress me, bro. I need some shit, bro.
For the first 5 rounds, my face was like this,
bruh. I'm like, yeah, you know how they end the round. You like, yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm like, oh shit! My headphones almost fell off.
Canelo looking frustrated. Canelo looking frustrated. Like,
hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up, bro? Peace, guy.
Continue what you were saying, man. Yeah, Canelo did look frustrated, but continue.
Oh no, it didn't look right. He wanted to knock out so bad, and he just kept throwing wide punches, kept throwing hard, and it was like he landed one hard shot blocked by Plant, and he got the round. Remember when De La Hoya used to at the end of the round throw a bunch of flurries and he'll get the round somehow? It's the same thing with Canelo, but just with less shots.
Listen, I think one or two things were happening last night. Devon, you hit it on the button. You said that basically Canelo knows how the game is rigged. He lands 2 good power shots, that's it, and he wins the round. That's why he just conserves his energy. There's no work output whatsoever. But on the other hand, it could also be that these judges were counting all the shots that were blocked because he was in that Philly shell, and all those shots were being blocked and parried. So, I mean, were they counting those shots too?
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Those scorecards make no sense.
None whatsoever, bro. Man, none whatsoever, bro. Like I said, what's the point for a fighter to build themselves up to get treated like this, bro? Because you not the popular fighter. This is,
bro. They gotta do something to clean this up.
what's the point, y'all? We can't keep holding these fighters to a standard, thinking, okay, this fighter can be. It don't fucking matter, bro. Get your.
Well, now I'm convinced the only way to beat Canelo, you gotta knock him out.
You gotta.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way.
That's the only way.
And and it's a situation where because it didn't go 12 and Plant wasn't robbed, nobody thinks about it. It's like, oh, he's knocked out, don't matter. These
that's the narrative right now on Facebook.
Exactly. So if it did go 12 and Plant got robbed, then you have a little bit of a case, right? People get upset, and then you're going to get people like Andre Ward and others who will be like, this is bullshit. And so the problem is this. Maybe they get Dave Moretti the hell out of here. Maybe that happens. But Plant still took a loss. He's the victim of this corruption. They're not going to make it a no contest. It is what it is, right? So the only thing that you can try to get out of it is a rematch.
Okay, breaking news, bro. Again, rumor mill. It looks like on Blue Blood, they said they shooting for Alvarez and Benavidez next May 5th.
That's going to be a war.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be a war. And listen, last night, Canelo's getting touched up. He's a little guy. If he continues on this path, it's going to catch up to him. It's going to catch up to him getting hit like that, trying to get in the pocket. And he's fighting against guys who are bigger than him.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard us.
The talent's not there, man.
Earlier. I don't know if you heard us say this earlier, Christian, but I was saying this earlier that Benavidez has something that Plant doesn't have, which is power.
He's got power.
But Plant has something Benavidez doesn't have.
Doesn't have defense. He's there to be hit. It's going to be a war. It's like it's going to be mano a mano until one of them drops first. And unfortunately, that's what most casuals want to see, because that's their idea of what boxing is.
All I'm saying is, bro, it's like I said before, and I'll say this again, bro. It's evident, talent-wise, that y'all see that Caleb Plant and these guys over here on this side of the pond is a totally different level of fighter than Canelo's been fighting the last 4 to 5 years. Every fight from this point, no matter what y'all say, if Canelo, but this is what I'm saying. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's like all these fights. It doesn't matter that David Benavidez has a different style than Caleb Plant. It's going to be a competitive fight. But what difference that makes if Benavidez don't stop him?
You're right. Benavidez going into that fight, Benavidez knows the only way he's going to win is to stop him. And in a way, that's going to put him at a disadvantage, because he's going to go in there and he's going to be more reckless because he knows that he needs the knockout, because he's not going to get a fair decision on the scorecards.
Right. So where are we at when a fighter can't fight their fight?
The sport has gone to shit.
Let me acknowledge this comment real quick by our man, Stormy B, man, the sensei. He says, at the panel, we should tell our audiences to flood these networks, emailing our displeasure with the unprofessional, ultra-biased commentary of these bouts, threatening cancellation of subscriptions. He goes on to say, we each as content creators have those thousands of subscribers and can pose an influence. I agree with you, Stormy. I agree with you, but my thing is this: we need people like Champside and Blue Blood and 78 to do that as well. It has to be a collective, and yeah, the power is in the voice. But we can sit up, and a lot of times, and I see what Stormy's going with this. Sometimes we come up on here, we rant, we rave, and we get upset, and we don't really do anything. I mean, I have no problem writing an eloquent email, but we got to band together.
Like I said, I'm not gonna do this no more, bro. I'll go back to watch amateurs and up and comers, bro, because like I said, I support boxing, bro. I put my money into boxing. You know what I'm saying? But if we can't, it ain't even about who win or lose. That's what y'all don't understand. I don't care, bro. I'm not the one getting hit in the face. You ain't either. You still going about your daily life, even though your favorite fighter won. What did it do for you if you didn't bet?
Yep.
But
shout out to my man Aubrey. Salute, brother. Thank you for the super chat.
Right. But again, everybody has the so-called need to feel the need to be right so much you can't even be objective about the truth that's in front of your fucking face, bro. And you say you a boxing fan, though. No, you a fan of a fighter.
Facts.
It's a weird type of tribalism.
This trend has been happening as far back as 2014. In the Lara fight, Lara landed more than Canelo.
Beat him easy. He beat him easy.
And he lost. So this has been going on for years. And it's only getting worse.
And it's getting to the point where they don't even care. They don't even care to try to hide and, okay, make this judge make it a split, right? Make this judge make it one way and other. They don't even care no more, bro.
You know what they should do, the sanctioning bodies? They should have some sort of an appellate process where if a fighter doesn't agree with the result, they can appeal it and have an independent review board look at the fight.
That'll never happen, bro. It'll never, because it's too much money that's being made off the back end that people ain't accounting for. You see what I'm saying? And that's the whole, like I said, bro, if it's all about money, let's leave it there. Mm-hmm. Let's leave it there. Stop saying, okay, this fighter need to fight this fighter, blah, blah, blah. How much can this fighter make fighting this fighter? That's what we need to be on. You know, the business of boxing, the shit they keep telling us not to be aware of. Oh, Sean Porter about to fight Bud Crawford. Fuck how it got here. It's happening now. Ain't that what they tell you?
Yeah.
Yep.
When it's the business of boxing that really tell you who about to win or lose a fight.
For all the people that are just joining in the chat right now, this is the scorecards
Look at
that were produced up until the point of the knockout or the stoppage.
The most offensive one is, bro. Is the one
Steve Weinsfeld for sure.
Weinsfeld's the worst one. Like I don't know what the fuck he was looking at last night.
I mean,
they're all pretty bad. They're pretty bad.
All across the board. Yeah, all across the board. It's pretty terrible. The one that stands out to me is Dave Moretti, because David Moretti is a veteran. He scored the fight for Mayweather against Canelo, and this is just blatant corruption. Period. I mean, I don't know other way to describe it. And I got a poll going right now in the chat. Make sure you guys vote in the poll, because the Canelo fans they're taking over the poll. They're taking over the poll because they can't comment. They're not subscribed. So make sure you guys go vote in that poll. Who did you have winning the fight before the stoppage? Let me know. I had it 6-4.
That's what I had it
Caleb
as.
Plant.
I had it 6-4 too.
I had it 6-4.
You know what? I had a 7-3 Plant, but I was thinking though 50-50 rounds. I just knew they would go to Canelo. So it's just like it's I don't know. It's then I had to say 6-4 or even 5-5 if I counted 50-50 rounds.
Listen, at this point, I think the only type of fighter that will beat Canelo, you need a boxer who has pop, a pure boxer with power. And the only guy that I can think of that has that criteria is Andrade. That's the only guy I can think of.
Yeah, let me know in the chat how you guys had it, man. Vote in the poll. Let me know in the chat, too, how you had it scored leading up to the stoppage. I want to see what you guys had. And I'll see if the Canelo fans are brave enough to see how they had it.
But of course, Canelo won't fight Andrade but he'll consider fighting Jake Paul. Bro, this sport's a mess, man.
Look, guys, I mean, I was saying earlier at the beginning of the live stream when Ricky jumped in that I was commentating the fight live and I was enjoying myself, man. I mean, great style matchup. You know, one guy's trying to hurt the other guy's trying to box. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. Up until the point of the stoppage is something that happens in boxing. What I didn't expect what was a scorecard like this, man, because all it tells me is that if Plant didn't get caught in that 11th round and it went 12 rounds and went to the scorecards, Plant would have got massively robbed, disgracefully robbed.
I predicted Caleb was going to win this fight, and looking back, I miscalculated. You know, I thought that he can win this fight without power, but now I realize that the only way to stop the little red train from coming forward, you got to be able to hurt him. Had Caleb had some pop, he would have won that fight, I think, because, you know, there's corruption involved.
We had to knock him out.
Yeah, you're right. You still had to knock him out. You're right.
He had to stop.
We're back to square one.
And that's how I betted the fight. That's why I betted the fight, because we all knew that Canelo had 4 rounds in the bank before the fight even started. This is what I'm saying. Like, this wasn't a fair fight.
You're right.
It
was rigged from the start.
Ricky, you thought that Plant had a chance to knock Canelo out.
I feel like this. Anybody can get knocked out, God.
That's true.
Anybody can get knocked out. It's how you get caught. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what nobody say, again, my assessment of the fight was this. Canelo gets hit. He gets hit. And if you look at the speed and accuracy of a fighter like Caleb Plant, especially with a guy at Canelo's size, if you look at the fights he fought, he's crazy accurate on guys smaller than him. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I was looking at. But I knew he had to knock him out to win. This is before the fight even started. Go to my channel. Right? I said that it'll be funny that I believe that Caleb, if he can keep his distance, will be able to style on Canelo, which he did in the first. Didn't he do that in the first half of the fight?
Yes, he was controlling distance.
Right? But like I said, I can't. This fight was simple, bro. It's how was Caleb gonna get robbed? Was it by a gun or by a pickpocket? Right? I have faith in humans. Because you a man. It's a man. It's all depending on what that man put in front of you. That man do in front of you. And shit happens in boxing. We done seen it all the time. Right? I'm just willing to put my money where my mouth is, right? The rest of these guys, y'all ain't paying for no fights. Y'all didn't pay no $200 to go see Wilder Fury. Right?
Can I say something real quick? And just I'm just gonna say that when Canelo fought Triple G in the first fight, which I thought Triple G won.
Me too.
Triple G was tagging Canelo. Canelo wasn't taking it well. He wasn't. And he got on his horse and he was running around. And they called a draw. When I seen that, I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. If he's a cash cow, this is gonna how it'll be for the rest of his career. And then he got caught with the steroids or whatever he was on. And then they let him get away with that, the way he got away with it. And then he won the second fight, which was debatable too. But all these other fights that came up, it's like he can't lose. It doesn't matter. He can't lose no more.
Bro.
And they knew that promoting the fight. They knew they knew that Plant didn't have a chance to knock him out. They knew the only way that Plant would win is by a complete shocker and drops him or knocks him out. And they knew that Plant was a boxer, and Canelo knew that coming in. And look, does Plant have power? Sure, but does he have Benavidez power? No.
But
does he have Triple G power?
I don't even believe that Caleb sat down on any of his shots last night.
He didn't. Caleb doesn't sit on his shots. He doesn't.
He never has. He never has.
He never has.
Yeah,
Like, he did knock down Uzcategui, but those were shots that Uzcategui was surprised. He didn't see it coming.
Yeah, and he bounced right back up too.
And he bounced right back up.
He wasn't really hurt. You know, and a lot of these fighters like Caleb Plant with this slick style, who he entered boxing with this style, and he entered in boxing at 168. It's not like Floyd, pretty boy, knocking everybody out, and he's moving up, and he loses his power, right? And he hurts his hands. Plant started off at 168. He's been at 168 since the amateurs when he won the Golden Gloves. In the amateurs, you can get away with this style. You don't got to hurt people. You just win a fight, right? But what happens is you can get some knockouts early in your career. But once you start going up the ladder and start fighting these high caliber fighters, it's a lot harder to knock these dudes out. He fought a guy named Brunson who's not no special effects, but he's tough. He couldn't get him out of there, even though he beat his ass. Mm-hmm. So that's just the way boxing works. And Plant just doesn't have, you know, if you take this fight that we just saw last night in the street, Caleb whoops his ass. But you put some gloves on, right? And you got to go for 12 rounds. It's a different story.
But Divine, even the power it doesn't matter if he can box and stuff like that no more. It's just all about power. And that's what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what weight class you come up from. If you got it doesn't matter.
I'm not sure what you mean by it. Give me an example.
Well, I'm trying to say it doesn't matter anymore about boxing. It's all about who can. I call it the Rocky syndrome. It's like you have to knock somebody out and do it in this weird type of like fashion just to get if you knock somebody down or you hit somebody so hard, you can do that in the first or third round, you win the fight.
He's right. I mean, that falls in line with your theory, Divine, about the fact that Canelo's conserving his energy because he knows he doesn't have to work. All he has to do is land one or two good power shots, and he's got the round. Even though he got touched up by the other guy.
Let me highlight this. I don't know if my wrench has caught on to it. This guy says, "Who cares about scorecards? Canelo was the man of the day."
Okay, that's
that right there.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's the problem.
That right there is the problem with boxing. Right there. We're not discrediting the victory. We are pointing out corruption in the sport. And if you're okay with a judge giving Plant only 2 rounds, you are the problem. And your name is Lovesick. You're probably 13 years old. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Yo, Ricky, I think your mic's muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Y'all want, and 90% of the people in the world, y'all wonder why y'all life in shambles and shit.
You know, I can only imagine what the conversation would be had Caleb went the distance.
The same.
What would the conversation be now? You know, and I bet you that the powers that be are like glad that Canelo got the KO.
Yeah, y'all should be thanking Canelo for bailing boxing out once again. The bullshit. That's what y'all should be happy about. For bailing out the bullshit once again. I guess that's why they love Canelo so much.
I mean, I feel like can I at least get some credit for Caleb Plant? Can people please say, hey man, I mean, he was better than I thought. Oh, he did a great job. Can I instead of this, oh, it was an easy fight and he's a disgrace and he's a bum and he's a paper champ and all this other craziness. I mean, I can't even get that. I can't even get that as a boxing fan.
That fight went easy.
No, Canelo, he gave Canelo, bro, a good fight. Canelo was struggling.
Ain't none of these fights from now on going to be easy for Canelo, bro. None of them.
Now, moving forward, I agree. Because now the European tour is over. It's over. Now he's got to fight the guys that he's been ducking for years.
Unless he moves up.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. All I'm saying is acknowledge the truth that what happened. What happens is that Canelo stopped him last night. Congratulations. But y'all acknowledge that Canelo been fighting sub-tier competition for the 5 years. Y'all not gonna
yo, big dog, you got some feedback on your mic, bro.
I got some what?
Got some feedback, like some
I'm muted right now.
Right,
y'all not gonna acknowledge that? That's what happened. That's all we be saying is that what happened. I don't care who I want to see the best BFTV, best fight the best.
Best fight
right?
the best.
I don't care, right? I don't care. I'm okay with losing money on a bet. That's why it's called a bet, right? But how y'all be going acknowledging like this ain't what's happening, that's the whole problem with boxing, bro. Because if y'all acknowledge the truth, half these fighters wouldn't be where they at right now. They wouldn't be able to milk no $40 million fight, bro, because the fans will hold them accountable. Which means at the end of the day, it helps your wallet, right? Because you get to see fighters built the right way.
I'm glad DOGG215 pointed this out, and shout out to my man DOGG. The right uppercut was open for Plant all night long.
Yeah, it was.
And he didn't throw it. When Canelo was going down low with his guard like this and waiting for Plant to throw, you throw that uppercut right up in there. You Joe Lewis's ass. And I was screaming on the mic, man, like, throw the uppercut. Did Plant do everything perfectly? No. Did he make mistakes? Absolutely. Could he have done better? Absolutely.
He didn't jab to the body. He should have been jabbing to the body.
And I don't want to hear none of this shit. Oh, but this wasn't the best Canelo we've seen. Shut up.
You seen the
I ain't trying to hear none of that.
Y'all seen the best Canelo because he was up against worse competition before.
Facts.
That's all I be saying, bro. Right? Judge these fighters accordingly. I don't care if I like them or not. I judge them accordingly. I tell you what their weaknesses and their strengths are. And then I bet what I say I'm a bet. It don't matter. You ain't losing my money and I ain't losing yours. That's the whole point. Right? But for us to keep denying what's going on in boxing when it's right there in front of your face, like I said, what Canelo say, boxing is life, right? That's exactly right. Because the same stuff in boxing that y'all don't pay attention to, that y'all lie to y'all about, or allow people to lie to y'all about, is the same stuff that the people lie about you in your daily life. Y'all sit up here and keep listening to people who lie to y'all, bro, and believe it like it's gospel. Listen to those what a commentator said. I don't give a fuck. They liars. They on Canelo's payroll. They on his dick right now.
That's the same people that, I think Larry Merchant's a pretty good guy.
You know, but God, look, y'all should have knew how to commentate. I knew how to commentate was gonna go from the fucking the Showtime 24/7s and shit. They was already riding Canelo dick like he had been there all the time. That's the whole point. Y'all supposed to be able to turn off the sound and know how to score a fight, but evidently y'all don't. But y'all come in here on these chats where we study boxing, we do research, we watch tape, right? We follow fighters, bro, and then try to tell us y'all knew what was right all along. You don't know shit. Canelo bailed y'all the fuck out.
What does Roger Mayweather say?
Y'all don't know shit about boxing. For you to keep saying Canelo was winning that fight, let me know you don't know what you're looking at. I know you was listening to them commentators, though.
Oh, yeah. Look at those hard thudding shots by Canelo. Look at that power. Oh, he's going to hurt Plant now. Plant's running. Plant's running. Oh, my God.
Listen, this problem now goes beyond Canelo. It's infected the entire sport.
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't Macau's Fox's appeal, wasn't that denied recently?
Yep.
I mean, that tells it all right there.
But it don't matter, though, God. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter. Canelo knocked him out. It don't
I got
matter.
a question. I got a question for you, gentlemen, man. So I'm sitting here thinking as we're discussing this, right? And if you guys are just coming in, make sure you smash that like button. At least let people know that we're live out here. Don't let the trolls take over the chat. But I'm sitting here thinking, yo, Big Dog, we got that feedback again, bro.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back in and come back out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, all right, so my daughter, right? She's about to be 9. And I'm putting her in boxing. And I'm thinking to myself, I want to teach her the sweet science. I want to teach her how to punch and not get hit, slip shots, have defense, effective punching, accuracy. You know, how I was brought up. But now I'm like, maybe I should just teach her just how to knock out dudes. You don't need no defense. You don't need no elusiveness. You don't need no ring IQ, ring generalship. Just work on your power, go to the body, try to knock people out. That's what I'm sitting here thinking right now. And that's what it seems like it's become, where the appreciation of the sweet science is dwindling. Just straight up dwindling right now, man.
The ignorance is just rampant, bro.
And I don't want to discredit Canelo's skill. I don't want people to think that's what I'm trying to do. The man's got skill. He wouldn't be where he is without skill. Let's keep it 100. But my question is, what takes more skill? To be elusive and defensive, and understand the true essence of the sweet science, and move around the ring, or is it easier to just walk forward, put your hands up, and try to land hard shots and try to knock the other dude out? Which takes more skill? Which takes more athletic ability? And a lot of people seem to say, "Oh, well, it's not how athletic you are, or how well you avoid punches and how defensively sound you are. You got to make sure you punch hard. You got to make sure you go toe to toe. You got to give the people what they want."
This is like to me saying Deontay Wilder was up on the scorecards when he knocked out Ortiz in the second fight. That's what it's like to me. Like, no, I was at Ortiz Wilder too. I'm looking at my wife like, God damn, he down on all cards right now. Right? When has it gotten to the point that you want your favorite fighter to win so much you lie about the fights you saw?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. So how can I hold your opinion with any type of respect or reverence? I can't even discuss with you what really happened in the fight.
And guess what, Rick?
Do you think a potential solution is maybe crafting some bright line rules in how fights are judged? Try to make it less subjective?
I think you got to get, like, a lot of these, when we looking at it, and this is, again, boxing is life. It's just like
every judge should get punched in the face once before they become a judge.
I think you got to destroy the structure that boxing is set up under, period. The sanctioning bodies, the judges, the commissions, all of them need to get dead.
There's only one way to do that. You got to get the government involved. Have congressional hearings to deal with what's going on in the sport. That's the only way.
See, I don't even think the government should be involved. It's up.
I know that. I don't want them involved either. Right. But these sanctioning bodies can't police themselves.
You need a governing body.
Right.
A governing body.
You need honorable men and women who think it's such. You see what I'm saying? And these people, the people that got, but the people, and this is a conundrum with the world we live in, no matter what. Everybody know what the right and wrong thing is. Everybody know, right? It's just that the people with the resources to do it are the same people that's benefiting off the bullshit.
You're right. Suleiman's one of them, the WBC president. Oscar Valdez pops for fucking PEDs. No suspension, nothing.
I was gonna say that before, like I said, bro. Like Oscar Valdez, what happened to that? Right? Since it's not about really what happened in boxing, what happened to Oscar Valdez? What's that? Oh, now he the face of clean boxing, even though he popped dirty, right?
Uzkataki just popped dirty. You know he's gonna get suspended. But not Valdez, because Valdez is associated with Reynoso's gym. That's Canelo's gym. There you go.
But it's not
to
about
Ricky's point. You need a governing body of honorable men and women that come together, that can put a little bit of money together and make their voice heard, to have a little bit of leverage and make their case. It's kind of like a union out there in the workforce. You come together and say, we're going to protect the athletes. We're going to protect the integrity of the sport. And at least if you threaten or the powers that be that see this as a threat, they might get their act together. But right now, it's leaves blowing in the wind.
Man.
Boxing has always been corrupt. Boxing it's always been a race-driven sport, and it's always been corrupt. That's fact.
That is foundation.
That's a fact.
But it has increasingly got worse, which is astounding considering the fact that we have social media. We can replay things back online. Back in the day, they didn't have that shit. If the commentators in the newspapers told you that a guy lost, they're like, oh, I guess he lost, unless you were at the fight. Nowadays, you can re-roll it back and be like, oh, I didn't see it that way. What were these judges smoking? Right? But it's gotten worse because, I mean, you guys have all heard the saying, right? Willie Pep won a round without ever throwing a punch.
Exactly.
That doesn't exist anymore.
That doesn't exist anymore. And Willie Pep is one of the greatest fighters of all time, one of the best professional records of all time, and amateur, right? And even when he went up against Sandy Sadler 4 times, he lost 3 out of 4, right? And it was a rugged, nasty, dirty fight. And it was judged and reported as such, because that's what it was. Both men admitted that they were both dirty. But now there's no appreciation. See, somebody like Willie Pep back in the day, right? He's like an anomaly. It's like they wanted somebody to go in there who can beat him up and take him out, because he was just like making everybody look foolish, right? So they found Sandy Sadler, and Sandy Sadler was that guy. Right? That's how it should be approached. Like, somebody has so much skill. It's like, all right, let's try to find a guy who can beat him. But you don't just say, oh, we don't like his style, so we ain't going to give him a round. We're going to make sure he doesn't win a decision. You fucked the whole man's career up. Then we won't even be sitting here talking about Willie Pep the way that we talk about him. Right. So boxing has always been corrupt, and it's always been race-driven, but it has increasingly got worse. And now it's in our face. And how we receive it is exactly how we receive things in our everyday lives. We just take it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, let me just go back on my phone and scroll through Instagram again.
Yep. Exactly.
This is a reflection of our entire life right here, what we're witnessing here. What they're blinding us, or they're robbing us blind. They're raping us blind.
Simple mathematics.
And if you don't see this as a problem, then you are the problem. So anybody joining in late, I appreciate you dropping in. Hit that like button. For those of you who are curious, I scored the fight 6 rounds to 4 leading up to the stoppage. I scored the fight live. So this isn't me just pulling some shit out of my ass. I've scored every round live on YouTube. I think Christian dropped in at some point. So
yeah, I was listening to you, but I was slightly ahead of you, during the telecast.
Yeah. And I had Plant winning rounds 1, 2, 3. I gave Canelo the 4th round because my internet cut out. So I gave Canelo the benefit of the doubt. I gave him the 4th. I gave Plant the 5th. And I gave Canelo the 6th. I gave Plant the 7th. I gave Canelo the 8th. I gave Plant the 9th, and I gave Canelo the 10th, and the stoppage came the 11th. So on my scorecard, you can clearly see early rounds, Plant dominated. Plant dominated up until 6, where Canelo, 6, it seemed like Plant took that round off.
Yep. That's what I was about to say.
He took that round off, and Canelo got some big shots in. I knew, that's going to sway the judges. But then he bounced back the 7th round. 7th round, he came out, jab to the body. I was like, okay, good. Yeah, now. Okay, he took that round off. All good. He's recovered now. And then it started going back and forth. And then Canelo came back in the 8th round, trying to hurt him. Because he knew it was a close fight.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo knew it was a close fight. And in his head, he's thinking, I might have 2 judges over there that might score it for me, but I don't. Who's this chick? Because there was a female judge. So he's like, I don't know. I don't think I can trust her. She might score the draw, or she might score it for Plant. So we don't know the mechanisms that were happening in Canelo's head. But he's been around long enough, right? Controversial decisions against Triple G twice. He's been here before. Right? It's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's had to fight his way back into the fight. Cotto, when he fought Miguel Cotto, Miguel Cotto did very well in spots, and he had to pick it up because he was losing on the scorecards. He had to pick it up. He's been here before. Laura, you want to talk about landing and punches because that's what everybody's talking about now. Oh, well, but Canelo outlanded him with power punches and who's more accurate. Well, what about Laura then? Y'all want to say that with Laura?
More punches overall landed, total. But somehow the jab doesn't count anymore.
Exactly. A jab don't count as a punch. Jab don't count as a punch.
Canelo the coward dug Andre.
Facts.
That's my man. That's my man. He said at 154 and 160. He said
that's
I
the fight
overslept.
I've always wanted to see.
Yeah, and I find it so ironic, right? Where Plant comes in the press conference, calls him a cheater, and the whole motherfucker thing was like Canelo started that.
Yeah, he did with Andre. With Andre. And I saw Plant and Canelo kind of embrace each other at the end of the fight, which is good to see. I don't have a problem with it, but I find it kind of like boxing has a way to humble people. And that's exactly why Canelo needs to fight someone like Andre, someone like the Charlos, someone like that who has a possibility to humble him. Boxing has a way of humbling people. If you ever boxed before, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
It's all bravado and ego and fuck this dude, man. And it's like fighting in the backyard. This dude stole my chick. I'm gonna beat his ass. We're gonna get it down. After the fight, though, you're like, hey, bro, like shit. You know what, man?
It's whatever, bro.
It's whatever, bro. Like you can have her, I can have her. It ain't even about this bitch anymore. Like I gotta go home and go take an ice bath.
You was disrespecting me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about. But like I said,
no. Canelo needs to be humbled.
I don't care.
He needs to be humbled.
At this point,
I mean, the way he acted towards Andrew in that press conference, I still haven't forgotten about that. Cussing out his father, saying, fuck you, I'll fuck you up. He's saying that behind security. What kind of shit is that?
I don't care to see Canelo anymore, man. Like I said, I don't care to see him anymore, bro. I'm just being honest, bro. As far as him being on my checklist, as far as fights to see, he's gone, bro. I don't care, bro. Like he's not getting no more of my money. Because this shit is egregious. I can't do that, bro. I can't do it. I'm not going to support a pay-per-view. I don't care if he is fighting David Benavidez and me. I don't care. I'm not going to support it. For what?
I don't blame you. I don't.
Yeah, it's
because going in, he has to knock him out to win.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. This game is rigged, bro. Like, why are you trying to play chess when all your pieces knocked off the board already? And that man got a full side. What I'm gonna do that for? And this fight should have showed y'all. This fight shows y'all exactly what's what. If you understand how to score a boxing match, coming forward in a fight, coming forward does not fight a fight make. Just because a fighter comes forward don't mean he's effective or because he's the aggressor. There's been plenty of people I seen coming forward get knocked the fuck out, get outboxed.
Mm-hmm.
Just because a fighter comes forward don't mean nothing.
Facts. It's true.
But because it's Canelo, right? Because it's Canelo, he get denied. But when it was GGG, did he get denied?
Nope.
And I don't even like GGG. I'm just objective.
Yep.
Where is Gennady Golovkin? Where in the world is Gennady Golovkin? Right? But I'm objective. I'm honest about it. Right? The reason why I didn't give GGG the first fight is because GGG looked outside of himself. He did not look like the GGG that everybody was used to, crushing all these guys with body shots and finishing them off. Did Canelo look like the regular fighter that y'all seen for the last 4 or 5 years in the first half of that fight? Doing all the fight until he knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
He looked totally outside himself. Nothing he was doing that he did that worked on Billy Joe Saunders or any of those other fighters worked on Caleb Plant. But y'all gave him rounds. Caleb Plant.
And anybody out there saying that Billy Joe Saunders did a better job than Caleb Plant, I should slap the taste out of your mouth.
Right.
And now we saw what Canelo looks like when he's got a long jab being stuck in his face. We saw how he reacted to that. He was flustered. He was constantly resetting his feet. He looked like a hot mess, trying to get in range.
But they gave him rounds, guy.
Because they don't count jabs. They must have created a point system depending on what kind of punch you're landing with.
You might as well go in there and just windmill like two girls fighting. Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward, every fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because they call boxing running, like pure boxing, stick and move. They call that running.
Well, they crucified Rigondeaux, man. He's a runner. He's a runner.
And
where's he going? Where the fuck is he going? It's in a goddamn ring with ropes around it.
Right.
Exactly. You said it last night. You're in a ring. Where are you going to run to?
Where you go? It's not a track. What are you talking about running?
Even Canelo said in the press conference, you're going to be running. He mentioned the word running.
Hey, there's something about boxing that will humble you. It's not just getting punched, but it's also trying to punch somebody you can't land shit.
Exactly.
That also humbles your ass.
You used to getting a certain type of work off and you can't.
Yes.
And you exhaust so much energy when you swing and miss that breaks you down.
People, there is a poll going on right now. This is an indication of exactly what I'm talking about. So let me remind everybody and put this back up there because, you know, the Canelo fans, they don't want to look at this scorecard. But right now, we have a poll. 50-50 right now. Who did you have winning the fight before the stoppage? 50-50. Almost 100 people voted in the poll. That means 50 out of the 100 said they got Canelo winning before the stoppage. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Like I said, what y'all be watching, man? Like y'all expect to have intelligent boxing discussion when y'all don't even know what y'all watching, bro. And you're not gonna convince me that I don't know how to score a fight because I know how to score a fight.
Wow.
You're not gonna convince me.
That's crazy.
I've been to
and I want to know. And I want to know. Please have the courage to come on here and explain to me how you had Canelo winning the fight up until the stoppage point. Please educate me. I beg you.
But a Canelo fan.
Yeah, right. I mean, but they won't jump in because they know what time it is. They know that Canelo was down, and they're thankful that he got the knockout. Just like Ricky Williams just said, Wilder was down on the scorecards against Ortiz, and I, as a Wilder fan, was thankful that Wilder knocked his ass out. Because if that fight would have went to the scorecards, Ortiz would have won that fight.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying, bro. Let's be honest about the fight you saw. Not that, oh, he knocked him out. Right. You should be saying, yeah, he knocked him out, so he got the dub. That's what happened. But let's talk about what really happened in the fight. That's what I'm saying.
Please explain to me, please. So you're saying that Canelo was landing combinations? He was hurting Plant? I didn't see Plant hurt until the 11th round. I didn't see Plant hurt. Plant maybe have been a bit cautious, but I didn't see him wobble. I didn't see his knees buckle. I didn't see him showing the indication that he was in trouble. So how did you score it? Oh, because he was pressuring? Pressure don't win rounds.
Thank you. Tell him again, bro.
Pressure doesn't win rounds. Just because you're going forward and you're punching the arms isn't a scoring. That's not part of scoring in boxing. The head and the torso and the body, that's how you score points in professional boxing. Shout out to my man Don. I know he put some money down on this fight too. He said Emmanuel Augustus' drunken master was proof how corrupt boxing is. He was slick and he outboxed most of his opponents. Facts. Emmanuel Augustus is someone who is highly slept on. Fantastic, skilled boxer. It happens. It happens. And see, when you're a slick fighter, you got to be... See, Emmanuel Augustus was good. You could even say great. But someone like Pernell Whitaker and Mayweather, they were exceptional. They are all-time greats. You got to be at that type of level if you have this style. Like, you can't leave any margin for error. And even when Mayweather fought Maidana, and Maidana was trying to be rough and try to rumble with them and landing these sneaky-ass, ugly-ass shots, they did a rematch because, you know, the fight was close because of the style, right? So they did a rematch. Mayweather ran it back, and we know what happened. Mayweather won clearly in the rematch. But the point is Mayweather was still able to win that first fight against Maidana because Mayweather knows how to steal rounds. Plant doesn't. Plant wasn't going in there to try to hurt Canelo. He was going in there to try to outpoint him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And there's a difference. At some point, and it's not like he didn't have opportunities. Canelo stood in front of him with his hands up. It's not like you don't have the hand speed to do it, Plant. Let your damn hands go. Piece this dude up. But you want to play it safe. And where does safe get you? On the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of Plant fans are upset that I'm saying it.
The truth. That's the truth.
But I'm a boxing fan.
That's the truth.
And it's fact. And I was rooting for Plant, and I was screaming on the mic, watching the fight, saying, let your damn hands go. I'm like, at one point in the fight, I think it was like 8th or 9th round, I'm like, Plant, what are you doing standing in front of him? What? I don't understand. What's the objective here? You're just standing there looking at him.
I was screaming too, let your hands go. As a matter of fact, he hurt Canelo with a body shot.
Yo, did. Spent him around. He had turned him and then hit him with a body
shot.
Yeah.
I mean, so he could hurt Canelo. He just wouldn't let his hands go.
He didn't sit down on them shots. I'm telling you. He didn't sit down on those shots.
Homegirl Deanna said, I'm a girl and I do better than that. Damn. Don't do him like that, Deanna.
You know, I think Caleb went into the fight, you know, with the preconceived notion that he can just win, just trying to outpoint Canelo without trying to hurt him.
Like I
maybe
said,
maybe that was part of it.
That's the wrong plan to have, bro. And like I said,
yeah.
that my thing was like, you gotta go in knowing you gotta like. How can we know but they not know? That shit just blows my fucking mind, bro. How can we know, right? That like who's lying to who? You see what I'm saying? Somebody lying, bro. Right.
Put that comment back up, Divine.
Right. Somebody,
yeah, my wrenches took him out, but I'll go ahead and highlight it.
Yeah,
anyway.
look at that.
My guy Canelo was beating the brakes off that, man. I bet you are the type to say Triple G won the first fight because of his constant pressure.
We already explained that. So what
Keep the same energy.
We already explained that.
He outlanded Canelo in that first fight.
And I just said on this very channel, on this very video, that I gave it to Canelo because GGG, the one who looked outside himself. So it doesn't matter that GGG to me landed more jabs. When did GGG become a jabber? Because he in there with Canelo? You see what I'm saying? Who looked outside of themselves last night?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody answered me that question yet, right? If we go into Caleb Plant look exactly like we used to seeing Caleb Plant look. Is that not correct?
Yeah. And you got to do something a little bit more special against a guy like Canelo.
You got to stop him.
Yep. At least hurt him. Like, at least drop him. At least wobble him. At least, like visibly hurt. Something, and it's not like he didn't have opportunity to do it.
That's my only
Canelo was so mesmerized, not mesmerized, but a little bit like under hypnosis because he was getting outboxed so badly that he just got kind of stuck in the twilight zone. And Plant's got to take advantage of that shit and start piecing his ass up.
Mm-hmm. He should have prayed.
There was one point where Canelo went back on the ropes, and I'm like, was he trying to set a trap? Because I was telling Caleb, listen, he's sitting in there on the ropes. Let your hands go.
And Plant is way faster than Canelo.
His hand speed is crazy.
And Canelo looked tired. He was looking gassed out in some of those middle rounds.
Yeah, he was taking rounds off. He took the 9th round off on my scorecard, and I think he knew, okay, it's the 9th round. I got 3 rounds to go, and this might go to that 12th round. He's trying to save that bit of energy for that 12th to try to knock Plant out.
Now, I just hate how they just take a great fight and destroy it, man. They took those judges took a good fight and just disrespected it, bro.
Devon, do you think Canelo knew he was ahead on the scorecards?
First off, let me go ahead and give it to my man. I don't even know what to call you, bro. I'm going to call you the famous the famous troll master, Canelo the Coward. Appreciate the super chat, bro, and thank you for enjoying the conversation. I think that he knew it was close. I can't say that if he knew that he was up or down. I can hear the energy in Reynoso's voice, though. Reynoso was like, he was on Canelo. Mm-hmm. He was like animated and like he's like, you got to do this and you got to do that. And
Divine, and I quote, "You're better than him. You're better than this." Ain't that what he said last night? That's what Reynoso said.
Yep. So he knew.
So said.
He knew it was close, and that's why he went for broke in that 11th round. He got that lucky shot, and he was like, "Yeah, this is. I have to capitalize on this," and he jumped all over Plant. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what world championship fighters do. You got your man hurt, you got to finish him. Canelo did what he's supposed to do. And
I edit that, bro.
It goes back to the conversation of if Plant survived that round, I think I think he's done in that 12th, in my opinion. I don't think he got much left.
I'm just, like I said, I'm not even mad at Canelo, man. Congrats to him, bro. But for y'all to simply disrespect and disregard a fighter who just gave Canelo the best fight y'all seen in the last 5 years is appalling to me. It's appalling. When y'all know that man didn't have no chance but to stop him. Y'all know that. Y'all know it, man.
I just need instead of everyone says, yo, Devon and Ricky, bro, like, stop speaking with emotion. Okay. I'm going to ask the same of you then. Explain to me how you had Canelo winning the fight on the scorecards before the stoppage. Don't just say stupid shit like, he beating the brakes off of him, or, Canelo was too strong, and, Canelo was winning. How? Tell me, how? How was he winning? Based off of what? What did he do? He only threw like 10 punches in the first 3 rounds. He didn't even punch. He didn't even do a shit. He didn't do nothing because he couldn't get past the jab.
Exactly.
He was
that's 3 rounds right there. That's 3. Steve Weinfeld, piece of shit, only gave Plant 2 rounds for the entire fight.
Wow, bro.
And you can't even explain to me in a boxing conversation on how you feel that Canelo was winning those rounds and you had, guys, I had it 6-4. If you come out and say, oh, I thought it was 5-5. I'm like, all right, whatever. Maybe you're a Canelo fan. Even if you say you have it 6-5 Canelo, I might be able to have a conversation with you. But anything less than that or more than that for Canelo, you don't know shit about boxing. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Nothing other than you don't know shit about boxing.
Nate. You don't know Nick.
Yeah, El Chubby says Plant wasn't going to get the decision if it was close. Exactly. And that's exactly what we've been saying here over the past hour.
If it was wide, it wasn't going to get the decision.
That's exactly the point.
That's what we saying, guys.
If Plant went 12, he would have got robbed. And if your question is, what would the conversation be like? Well, the conversation would be this. Oh, my God, did you see Canelo put on that beautiful performance for 12 rounds? He outboxed Plant. Yeah. Fuck that jab. That jab don't mean shit. It didn't hurt him, so it don't mean shit. That's what people think. Oh, it doesn't hurt him, so it doesn't count.
Crazy.
No, it would be a replay of the Lara fight, of the Lara discussion.
Yep.
It'd be that debate all over again.
I hear it already. When I go into work tomorrow, that's exactly what I'm gonna hear. Oh yeah, bro, but he couldn't hurt Canelo. And I'm gonna say, get the fuck out of my face before I uppercut you, like Plant should have done Canelo.
Right, hit him with the uppie.
You get chin checked. Get out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Co-worker or not, take your lunch break early. Get out of my face.
Break. No. Yeah, man.
Seriously. Oh, it didn't hurt him. Oh, okay. Well, what are we watching now? What sport are we watching now?
Yeah, man. It's like, but if like I said, if I go to the crux when I was just watching the fight, man, it was a really good fight, man. It was a really good fight, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
It was competitive. It was.
I was enjoying
like the first competitive fight that I've seen Canelo in a long time.
I was enjoying that shit. It's this great style matchup. And, you're always going to, for me at least, because I typically go for the boxer. That's what I prefer.
Me too.
And I always scream at boxers, even when they're doing brilliantly. I'm always like, I don't know why. I just feel like you just always do a little bit more. And so I'm used to doing that. But I was enjoying the fight, man. I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, this is going 12. It's going 12.
That's what
I was convinced that this is going 12. And I'm going to have to sit here and endure a robbery. That's what was going through my head going into the 11th round.
Yep.
And maybe, on the bright side of things, or I don't know if it's the bright or the ugly side, but maybe the stoppage is maybe it's better.
That's what I was saying, bro, because if I'd have seen them scorecards, I'd have broke my TV, bro. I'd have been out. Not only the 100 I bet it, I was going to be out another 1,500 for a new TV. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of glad it went that way, bro, because if I'd have saw them scorecards, I'd have lost it, man. I'd have lost it, bro.
Yeah. And then we'll be on here talking about another robbery and, how to, and then the judges. And it's just the same merry-go-round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the difference, I think, that would have been a little bit different than like Michael Fox and the other robberies that has happened this past year. Or in the one with Constanzao as well, which I thought that was a robbery. is that this was a huge fight. I
Mhm.
mean, if you looked into the crowd, there were celebrities and boxers everywhere. I mean, that whole arena was packed with celebrities and athletes and boxers. There would have been a handful of notable names that would have been upset, for sure. And, I heard Kenny Porter talk about the fight. He had plan up. I'm guessing that Andre Ward and others that prefer and appreciate that style probably had Caleb Plant up. So there would have been a handful of people that would have been upset about it, and at least we would have had that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this though, because of Plant and his story, losing his mother and his daughter and all that, and he's accomplished a lot. Like Ricky said, coming from the mud, you can't take that shit lightly. Nobody would have thought. Nobody even knew who Plant was.
Casuals didn't know who he was.
Y'all need to be humbled, man. You guys didn't even know who he was. I'm talking to the casuals. Oh, his resume's terrible. This guy's another speed bump in the road.
He's worse than Billy
Right.
Joe. Billy Joe.
He's worse than Billy Joe. He couldn't beat Callum Smith. He couldn't beat any of these UK fighters that Canelo went 12 rounds with. Right? And completely discrediting this man. And what did he do last night? He showed up with the whole damn arena booing his ass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's another thing. We're in the United States.
Mexican flags flying everywhere, and the dude showed up, and he was trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would have done a little bit more, but most people, like, in my opinion, Billy Joe, when he got hurt, he quit. Caleb Plant never quit. He never quit. And as a matter of fact, when the fight was stopped, he was trying to get up.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to get up. So I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect of Caleb Plant. If you want to celebrate the victory, if you're a Canelo fan, have at it. Enjoy it. Have your burritos and your churros,
Your cervezas.
your cerveza, and have a great time. But I'm not going to tolerate you guys coming out here and continue to drag this man's name through the mud, because none of you will even have a glimpse of what he's able to accomplish from where he came from. Most people don't even know the city where he's from in Tennessee. They don't even know where it is on the map. No boxing community where Plant grew up. Boxing in the damn closet. Punching the bed mattress. Right? And then you got to grow up in the way he grew up. Like, let's keep it a buck. He grew up in the hood, basically. So you got to go through that. Nobody thinks that you can do it. So all I'm asking is, I'm not asking you not to celebrate. I'm not up here trying to dismantle Canelo and his accomplishments. I'm saying give the man his fucking respect. Say, yeah, I was wrong about Caleb Plant. I thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't easy. I mean, it went 11 rounds. And it wasn't like Caleb survived into the 11th round. Exactly. The fight went to the 11th round.
Nah, he was giving Canelo trouble up until the 11th.
Yes. And Billy Joe got hurt and tried to survive and then eventually quit. That's the difference. So give the man his credit. Now, based off this fight, I'll ask you guys this. Is it worthy of a rematch?
I wouldn't waste my time with it.
I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. Because the way those scorecards looked, and knowing that Caleb has to knock out Canelo, it's not worth it.
He's not going
to get the KO.
Exactly.
Unless he sits on his punches.
Like I said, it doesn't matter at this point, because okay, so hindsight's 2020, right? So now that he know how the judges was about to do him, right? How the fans did him, how the fans doing him, how boxing doing him, the commentators, Showtime, where he been fighting all this time, right? Right? What's the point if he can't come out and fight his fight?
There's no point.
Yeah,
That's the reason we have we say styles make fights all the time. What difference does it make if he can't fight his fight, God?
Yep.
Why should he
That's
come
true.
out? Why should he come out and cheat himself? Because that's what y'all asking him to do. Come cheat yourself, right? The only way.
Hey, you want to hear some crazy shit though? Imagine this though. I know you mentioned earlier, Ricky, that Blue Blood must have posted something about Benavidez and Canelo in May.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if that fight falls through for whatever reason, and Plant and Benavidez fight, and Plant beats the brakes off Benavidez.
That's what I was saying. It was like, would you?
Oh shit!
Which he can do.
Yeah.
Which he can definitely do.
That's boxing. That's boxing, ladies and gentlemen. That's boxing. It's all
We got Jonathan Simon in the super chat here. He says, "What's up, guys? What undisputed fight, in y'all opinion, was better, 154 or last night?"
I got last night, bro. Like the Charlo versus that fight was underwhelming. Is that the word I'm looking for? It was underwhelming. It didn't have a whole bunch of anything. Right?
Yeah. It was an exciting fight.
Then it was a draw.
Actually, I liked last night's fight better because of the stylistic matchup that was involved. It was more interesting. It was more of a chess match.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think last night was a little bit better. Maybe I think for me, I didn't have I knew Plant. He did basically what I thought he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
In areas he did a little bit better than I thought, and then some areas I think he could have done better. But with Charlo, I had higher expectations.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And he didn't perform up to those expectations, and then it's a draw. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and that's why I feel like
it makes me question. And it makes me question: is Charlo the fighter I thought he was?
Exactly, because I mean, Plant. That question's not in your mind. It's like, yeah, that's who Plant is. Yeah, that's what we that's what we came to see.
You know what I'm saying?
We literally came to see what we saw last night, but I didn't expect what I saw from Charlo, and he barely squeezed out a draw.
Mm-hmm.
You say a draw was generous. Some people said that Charlo lost the fight. So on that regard, but I appreciate the super chat, Jonathan. Thanks for dropping by. My man K-Rod in the building. Hey, Ricky, K-Rod, he was going for Caleb hard.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Like,
going for him hard.
It's okay, man.
Hey, K-Rod, man, I know you got a mouthful. I don't know if you want to jump in and say a little something. I see some people in here saying that the 154 matchup was better. Okay, each to their own. My man Jay Smooth in the building, he says, after Floyd boxing said, fuck that, they're not looking at pure boxing unless it's a clear as day, and they have to give rounds to the pure boxers.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it feels like.
The question is, to what extent is this racially biased? Because let's face it, the most pure boxers tend to be African Americans. Shakur, Devin Haney.
Or Cubans.
Cubans,
Puerto Ricans, yeah.
Yeah, Cubans. It's black or brown folks. I mean, yeah, Canelo's Mexican, but look at his complexion. I don't know.
Plant's white, though.
He's an exception.
But is he really white? I don't know. Is he really white?
He don't represent that. You know what I'm saying? He don't represent that. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about the message. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the symbolism. So y'all know Caleb riding around the low riders, Nikes, Jordans, black, white. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what it is. But
yeah,
I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that, bro, because it really takes the effect off what's really going on, which is the money aspect of it. That's really what's going on.
You're right. Yeah, money's the main driver behind it all. It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's that Canelo got so many people got their hands in pies that deal with Canelo, bro. They're not gonna let him lose. Like the situations we talking about right now should let everybody know that. But again, like I said, because y'all so much fans of Canelo, y'all can't be objective to the situation. Did he knock him out? Yes, that's evident. We all here, we saw it. But those cards should let you know, if you being honest off bat, bro, them cards is atrocious. That should let you know that Caleb had no chance in that fight except to stop that ball, man. And if you ain't got no chance, again, if he don't have no chance to fight his fight, to be honest to himself in a fight, then what's the point of him even continuing a paycheck?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Charlo is in the sweepstake now, Jamal, to get the fight next. If I were him, he better look at those scorecards. He better know going into that fight that he's not going to win that fight unless he knocks out Canelo cold.
You got to stop him, bro. You're not going to beat Canelo on the cards, bro. You're not. This is evident. You're not going to beat him on the cards. Everybody said it and had a inkling of it, but now everybody knows. So why everybody acting like that's not the case? But they'll sit up there and say the same crap that the commentators were saying on Showtime. Oh, such as he gave Canelo all rounds before the sixth round, bro. Like when he wasn't doing nothing. Y'all was
you're talking about Farhood, right?
Yeah.
Farhood, yeah. So I looked at that because what fight is this guy watching? Man, it was atrocious.
Y'all ridiculous, bro. What y'all be watching, man?
For the people that just joined, these were the scorecards before the stoppage. Steven Weisfeld gave Plant 2 rounds. Patricia Jarman gave Plant 4 rounds, I believe. Dave Moretti gave him 3 rounds. There you have it.
Wow.
Now I'm curious. I'm curious to know. We've got Arturo in here. He was going for Canelo. Arturo, what do you think about these scorecards, man? And before anybody says, "Oh, bro, like it doesn't matter, it was a knockout,"
that's not what we asking.
We're not asking that. I'm asking about these scorecards here because guess what? This fight was 2 rounds away, or actually a round and a half away from going the distance. And if you have if you don't have a problem with these scorecards, then more than likely you and I are going to have a problem. 2 rounds for Plant. And I think that rather you're a Canelo fan or a Plant fan, we should be able to reach across the aisle and agree on this. This is bullshit. So
aggressive. That's all everybody keeps saying. Like, why'd you act like I'm on Facebook? I'm like, okay, bro, why'd you give him the fight? He was the aggressive. The aggressor? What did he do? Coming forward does not win a fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what wins a fight, bro. Anyway.
My man Jay Smooth said, I was just praising Steve and Moretti a couple lives ago, and they dropped this BS. You never hear me praising anybody, judges. I might say, oh, this judge he might be all right, but I ain't praising none of these judges out here. None of these judges out here, really, not at the championship level. Not at the championship level. You might get some shit down low, down in the prospect range. You might get some okay judges down there.
How do the judges get selected?
Mm-hmm. Hold on, that's a good question.
I believe there is a certain process that you have to go through, and I think it's through the sanctioning bodies. But I'm not 100% sure what the vetting process is and how you qualify.
By the commission? It's by the commission.
Yeah, by the commission.
Yeah,
okay,
but for a particular fight, do they have like a blind system where they just pick anyone at random?
I think it's a mixture of a few things.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. I got you. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Each official must be licensed by the commission prior to working in any professional boxing match. Each official will be assigned or appointed by the commission. Each official assigned to serve in a boxing match is a contract employee of the promoter of such match. A referee, again, guys, listen, words mean something. Each official assigned to serve in a boxing match is a contract employee of the promoter.
Wow.
Of such match.
I'm gobsmacked at this point.
Where'd you find that, man?
This is casetext.com. Hold on.
Casetext.com?
Yeah. Compensation for boxing referees and judges. All payments of fees, including travel expenses when required, to boxing referees and judges shall be paid by the promoter conducting the show and shall be on the following basis. Payment shall be made to the commission appointed supervisor no later than the time of weigh-in, and a bunch of blah, blah, blah. So basically the promoter, you could say the promoter and the commission is in charge of the judges.
That is shocking. And who's the A-side promotion in this fight?
Canelo.
There you have it. They want judges who are going to favor Canelo.
But it's not about the business of boxing, though. It's not about the business of boxing, though, Devon.
And especially going up against a boxer like Caleb Plant, they want to make sure they have, the right judges, quote unquote. Arturo says, and then the 2 knockdowns sealed the deal if it went 12, unless Caleb knocked Canelo out in the 12th round. But the question, Arturo, is, and I know it's a theoretical, okay, or a hypothetical, but what if Caleb Plant didn't get knocked down? What if Caleb Plant went in the 12th round, outboxed him, did brilliantly, and then the scorecards come out like what we just saw? That's the question we're asking here. Yeah, the knockout came, the knockdowns came, and even if Plant recovered, yeah, you would have lost the fight. It would have been a 10-7 round. But even on my scorecard, if it's a 10-7 rounds, and then Plant wins the 12th round, which is very possible because Canelo's putting a lot of energy in to stop Plant. So on my scorecard, so I had it 6-4 up to the point of the stoppage. That means it'll be 7-4 if I give him the 12th round. I got to give 3 rounds to Canelo. So it's a draw. It'll be closer to a draw than on my scorecard. So this is the problem with this bad judging. So that's what we're discussing here, Arturo. We're not discrediting the victory. And I'm not really speaking in hypotheticals. I'm throwing the hypothetical out there to give some perspective. But the reality is that we had one judge only give Plant 2 rounds and another judge only give him 3 rounds. That's a problem. And to Ricky Williams' point, who he just pointed out, reading verbatim off a website, explaining and describing how it all works, these judges are employed by the promoters under a contract, no less. So Arturo had it 6-4 for Canelo. So he had the opposite of me. I had 6-4 for Plant.
I wanted to know how he got to that scorecard.
Yeah, Arturo, let us know. Let us know how you or why you felt that Canelo won 6 rounds. I had him only winning 4 rounds, and I feel like that's pretty damn generous. That's me giving Canelo some benefit of the doubt in close rounds. So you got to explain to me on how you thought that Canelo won these rounds. Six of them out of the 10. And if you want, here's the link. That's for K-Rod and Arturo. If you're available, come on and explain. And it's all out of love, Arturo. We've had discussions before, but you might have to speak for most of the Canelo fans here because they're not willing to come on. I've been inviting them all night, and they're running for the hills. But I'm glad that Ricky pulled that up.
Yeah,
because that's very telling. That's very telling.
Yeah, it definitely explains a lot.
Okay, Rod, let us know how you feel.
Hey, what's up, Divine? And salute to you, again, Ricky. But nah, man, I was just so pissed, man. I was just taking a look at those scorecards after the fight. When I went live for the fight call, and I was like, bro, if I was taking a look at this fight before and after the fight was over, I probably would have had to knock out those judges because that was shitty scoring, man. Because if you brought that shit over to the NBA or the NFL or any other major sport, those sports would have just been burned to the ground. Because Caleb Plant, as much as I thought he was doing a pretty good job early and mid game into the fight, you can't say Canelo won those rounds because Canelo, he was getting disrupted by the jab and he wasn't doing anything effective until late game, which gave Caleb Plant problems, arguably. But, as far as a boxing standpoint, Caleb was purely outboxing Canelo the entire fucking fight.
Yeah, I agree. And, Arturo saying, in order to do that, we would have to sit and watch the fight together. Otherwise, I'm not asking. We're not speculating. I'm just simply asking you why you feel or what you see, what you saw. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you have to say on how you gave Canelo 6 rounds out of 10. So just let me know. It's not speculating. It's an opinion, yeah. But at least have the courtesy to let me know how you scored it and why. This is the problem, Arturo. No disrespect to you, but when people say to me, "Oh, well, I had a this scorecard," well, how? Well, it's just my opinion. Well, but how did you get to that opinion? I don't understand that.
If everything's subjective to you, bro, that means no rules apply. Don't y'all understand that? Right? That means you can say 1 + 1 is 2. You be like, no, I think it's 3. That's
Divine,
the whole problem.
Divine, put the scorecards back up real quick again.
Yeah, one sec. Go. Hey, we got Tyrone. I'm not sure if Tyrone is TS. Let me know in the private chat up here, Tyrone, if you're TS or not. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yo, what's up, Divine? It's the first time I've been on here, man. What's up, Ricky? What's going on?
Hey, TS, what's good, my guy? How you doing, bro?
What's
ATS.
Yeah, what's up, K-Rod? What's up, everybody on the panel? Yeah, I kind of had it like Arturo had it. I thought it was close. I mean, 98, 92, 97, 93. I don't agree with that at all. I thought it was pretty close. Like Canelo, I mean, he was definitely coming forward, but he wasn't having as much success as he usually has. I thought Caleb Plant did a lot better than I thought he would have. But I mean, for being 6'1", dude, you got to be a bit stronger than that, sort of. I mean, I know Canelo is strong himself, but he doesn't have no pop whatsoever. I mean, I watched the Uzkataki fight, and I was watching that live. I thought Uzkataki would have beat Plant. I was wrong. But, he kind of really got flash knockdowns with those. He didn't really hurt him. So it's like, I know you're born with power, but some of those things was kind of like, I mean, he let off a combination in the 9th round, I think. Like they were in the middle of the ring, and you just heard Caleb Plant go, ah! And there was nothing on those. Like they were just gusts of wind. It's like, and if you have everything, you got the crowd against you. You got the ref against you. You got the judges against you. That's it. That's just not going to work, dude. You know, they're not even going to give you any credit. You have to be like some sort of superhero to win the fight. So it's like, you know.
TS, who did you have winning? Like who were you picking rather?
Oh, I picked Canelo for sure, hands down.
Okay.
Hands down.
We got another Canelo fan in here, also going for Canelo. Arturo, man, can you hear me?
Arturo.
I can hear you, boss.
All right, brother. So you get what I'm saying, right? Like it's a situation where when people say, "Well, I had it this way," well, how did you have it? Oh, it's just my opinion. Well,
there's a lot of razor thin rounds where you're gonna have to decide. I mean, your scorecard and my scorecard aren't far apart. It's just how you view that round. And so whether or not you felt the punch penetrated his gloves and actually touched his body in order to score points, things of that nature. So I just felt like Canelo had some cleaner shots in the beginning. I thought Plant did exactly what I thought he was going to do when we were talking previously, which was box well, strong legs and defenses, which was key. And then little by little, just Canelo started landing. As soon as he stopped, you know, when Eddie was like, hey, stop trying to knock him out with one punch, started putting some combinations together. And as the fight went on, you could tell there was at times where he hurt. Now you're talking about the scorecard, so I'll leave that part alone. But for me, I thought that Canelo, you know, had that 6-4 going into the 11. So since that's the conversation, I'll just leave it at that. That's the way I felt.
My thing is this. I think where I'm struggling to try and find common ground as far as like, and I agree, 6'4", I had it 6'4" Canelo, or sorry, 6'4" Plant, you had 6'4" Canelo. It's not that far off, but I'm still struggling to find 6 rounds for Canelo. Like I gave him 4, and I gave him actually the 4th round as a gift because my internet cut out, and I thought, well, you know, I'm not going to just give it to Plant because people think I'm biased, so I'll go ahead and give it to Canelo. And so with that being said, I'm just struggling to see where you got 6 rounds from. For me, even me giving Canelo the 4th round, I give Plant 1, 2, 3, and 5. And it wasn't until the 6th round where Plant, I felt like he took that round off, and I gave Canelo that round. But I just don't see how you gave Canelo any of those rounds from 1 to 5. In the first round, he didn't throw any damn punch at all. The second round, he threw a little bit more, but a couple big thudding body shots. But other than that, I feel like Caleb outpunched him, outworked him. Third, 4th round, very similar. And 4th round, I wasn't able to see it all. And then the 5th round, Caleb Plant, again, he come running out, throwing the jab quickly. And you know, for me, a lot of those rounds in the first 5, Plant won the first minute. Canelo did a little bit more in the 2nd minute, and Plant won the 3rd minute. And that's the thing, right? We got 3 minutes in a round. If Plant is jabbing and moving and being defensively sound for 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 minutes, but Canelo happens to get some hard thudding body shots in there or land a looping left hook or a looping right hand over the shoulder roll defense, that doesn't mean Canelo wins the rounds. Canelo's got to actually, you know, you got to do more than just these eye-popping shots. And I think that's what we're kind of going through on the panel here. Is like that's where we get into the whole bias. And I think that it's realistic because we got human beings judging a fight. And the crowd is full of Canelo fans, let's be honest. It's like 80 to 90% Canelo fans, right? So anytime you land a hard thudding shot, it's like, ooh, 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 you know? It sways the judges, that type of shit. But that's not how you score a fight. If we get into the later rounds, the rounds become much closer because Plant starts getting a bit tired. Canelo's actually trying to hurt him. But why do you think Canelo's trying to hurt him in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and then, of course, in the 11th round? Because he knows it's a close fight. And like close as in I need to turn the fight back into my favor because I feel like Caleb was giving him trouble. He was missing. I've never seen. Hey, I'm going to say this right here on the record, Arturo and TS Boxing, a.k.a. Tyrone. I've never seen Canelo miss like that in a long time.
Yeah, this was definitely probably his least effective performance of recent, probably the past maybe 6 years. You know, he was definitely missing a lot, and I thought he wasn't really throwing his jab. I thought Caleb Plant was doing more work with the jab, and that's what made the difference in the rounds that Caleb won. But again, you know, he was definitely working that jab, but he wasn't really putting anything together to really stop Canelo in his tracks. You know, he was doing what he could with the jab and moving and doing the sweet science, but these judges in this day and age don't judge off that anymore for some reason.
But that's what I'm talking about, bro. We can't look. I say again, Canelo won the fight. This is not what we're saying, bro. You can't punches. Me hitting you clean, whether it's soft or hard, is a point.
Yep.
Right? Y'all got this shit. Like I said, I tell y'all got to understand how easy it is to program people. It's so slick. Y'all don't even know it. That's how easy it is, right? Power punch count. It don't matter if it's a power punch or a jab, God. A clean,
100%.
Clean, effective punching, people. Clean, not clean, effective power punching. Clean, effective punching, right? Like I said, we can't keep saying things are subjective. If everything's subjective, that means no rules apply.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the point of having different styles then?
What's the point of having the scoring criteria?
No, they're treating power shots like a 3-point basket.
No, it's not. It's not. The only power punch I count is the one that knocked you down.
Wrenches. I don't know if you guys see this Marcos Perez guy. Get him the hell out of here, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I got trigger words, and running is a trigger word. The fuck out of here. You came to the wrong place with that bullshit.
And this is what I'm saying, God. Y'all let the people who are meant to influence y'all. When I tell y'all all the time, you got to learn to think for yourself. Right? The results are the results. But 9 times out of 10, y'all telling me this is how you scored the fight when that's not how you score a fight, ladies and gentlemen. So who's wrong? Because, you know, in this world we live in, there still is truth and lies and right and wrong, even though they try to make it not to be. So who's wrong? Am I wrong when we can go to every rule book and that's what it says? Or you, because you saying, ooh, Canelo landed 1 hard shot during the fight, 2 hard shots during that round.
Yeah. I mean, look, gentlemen, we're not disputing the result. Canelo won the fight. Congratulations, undisputed champ. Hey, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I have a big problem with the scorecard. I personally have a problem with the stoppage. I know that's a unpopular opinion, but I feel like if the tables were turned and that was Canelo trying to get off the canvas in the 11th round, we'd probably be singing a different song, though. Change my mind on that.
And y'all know this. That's the crazy part. Y'all know this. We talk about it ad nauseum on all these channels. But then y'all want to get these guys. No. And I can prove my point easy what I just said to what I was just making a point about punching. You can see how hard they felt the need to be right on the slow-mo replays, even though they showing Caleb slipping and catching and countering.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Canelo hit him with a big hook. Oh, shit. No, he didn't. But then Canelo caught him with a jab, and they don't even say that Caleb had spiced him up with a counter right hand.
We got another one in here.
Punching.
Combat ethics. He said he had it 8-2 for Canelo. He was landing the more accurate and harder shots the whole fight.
And you didn't have your glasses on. Next.
Yep.
I mean,
and you were listening to Showtime.
I agree with you guys in that. I agree with Ricky. Where they basically changed the criteria without saying they changed the criteria. They moved it towards people who could hit, and that's what brings in the money. So it's kind of like, even though you know it's wrong, he could have slipped and slid the whole night, but he would have still lost.
And that's what I'm saying, guy. And let's take what you just said. And this is no disrespect to you, bro. You know you my bro, right? But why is it that when we have Deontay Wilder, who's the hardest power puncher in history, damn near, but it's not okay for him?
They pick and choose who they want.
Right. So let's admit that and stop and judge these fighters accordingly. Y'all know, we know. That's what I'm saying. But y'all play. But like I said, whenever it become fight night and it's your favorite fighter, everybody's opinion change. No, stay solid, bro. Keep it slick. Keep it 100. And then because it's not gonna change till we change the game. We the one putting money in this shit, bro.
My man Jay Smooth saying
I don't
Russell Moore would have never waved
it.
Russell Moore would have never waved it off if it was Canelo if he got dropped twice. Look, and for anybody out there that wants to say, oh, yeah, but Devon, Canelo's the champion. So? Plant's a champion too. They're fighting for undisputed.
Yeah, the stoppage. I mean, I like guys. This is the thing with referees. I always say this, right? They've got to pick what they want to do for the rest of their careers. Either you're a guy who'll let somebody go on till they pass away on that canvas, or you jump in and stop at the, if somebody literally blinks. You got to pick one of the two. You can't do both. That's why I have such a problem with people like Jack Reese, who won't stop. Fury goes down like that. But there was a fight literally a couple months after that where he stopped Brian Perella in the last second of the last round on his feet in a fight he was winning on all the cards. And nobody even said anything about it. He didn't get in trouble about it at all. So it's like with this stoppage, I would have let it go on because it needs to be conclusive. But at the same time,
here's my, look, if a fighter's hurt, he's hurt. Like, it is what it is. And I've refereed fights.
He should have took that 8 count. Him stumbling with a ref that wasn't into him to begin with, wasn't with him to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
was a bad sign.
But you're not thinking about that in the heat of the moment. You know,
because
what I mean?
He doesn't have the experience,
right? Because he's never been knocked down like that before. So
exactly.
It's even as an amateur, he's probably never knocked down like that before. At heat of the moment, I've never seen a fighter get up after a knockdown and go running across the ring. I don't think I've ever seen that shit. So I don't know if that's him. Just kind of
Zab Judah.
Yeah, Zab did it too. Oh, but yeah, he was chicken legging it. But I think he was just I think a little bit embarrassed to get knocked down, and he's just kind of trying to walk it off and act like it wasn't nothing. And Canelo, being the experienced fighter that he is, he jumped all over him. But my issue is that I agree with the consistency of refereeing. If you're a referee and you're known for a guy who wants to give fighters the benefit of the doubt, then be that guy. Then people know who you are. They know what to expect. And that shit should be, and if you don't know who I am, I'm going to let you know in the dressing room. If you get dropped down once, okay, I'm going to do this. If you get dropped down twice, there's a good possibility I'm going to call it if I feel like you're hurt or if I feel like you're too tired or whatever. Right? And I've refereed fights at lower levels before, and I've told fighters, if you're hurt, either you need to verbally let me know. If you get up, you got to let me know. And also, I'm going to be looking at your eyes. I'm going to look at your body when you hit the canvas. And if I feel like you can't go on, I'm going to call it. I'm letting you know now. I'm warning you. But my thing is this, right? A lot of times at this level, we can't even have the conversation of undisputed because it's so rare that we have this opportunity. But even in a championship fight, you got to at least look at the timekeeper and pick up a count. I mean, you got to at least do that. And if you're at 4, 5, and he ain't moving, okay, wave it off. I don't got a problem with that. But the dude waved it off as soon as Caleb Plant touched the canvas. And if you go back and watch, Caleb Plant laid on his back for a second or two, and he was already turning over to try to get up. Now, people will say, yeah, but yeah, Divine, I mean, he was hurt. He would have got stopped anyways. Well, let him get stopped then. The dude is, these people are modern day gladiators, man. We forget about that shit. They sign up for this. Their families know who they are, man. And it's like, I'm all for protecting fighters and this and that. I'm one of the biggest biggest channels out here advocating for a clean sport. But this is a gladiator sport, man. And we're talking about a championship fight. If Deontay Wilder wants to go out on a shield, well, shit. That's his prerogative, man. That he has that right as a fighter. You sign up for this. And everybody, your family, everybody, they know, yeah, I love him. And I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. But we all sign up for this. It ain't just the fighter. They all co-sign that shit. So if Plant gets up, which I think he would have. And if he got up and took a couple big hard shots, okay, then you can step in, you can call it if that's what you want to do. If he can't protect himself. But you don't call it, you don't do a man like that, man. And for me, maybe I'm just coming from a different perspective because I'm an athlete and I've trained at the highest levels and I've won competitions and I've been in that. And maybe I'm coming from that angle. Like, I wouldn't want a referee to make that decision for me when I'm trying to get up off the canvas in a championship fight. This ain't me fighting for a charity. It's not a charity event where it's not worth it. I got a daytime job. I got to go back to work tomorrow. And I ain't trying to get my face busted up. I ain't trying to get knocked out. You know what I mean? This is what they do. Yo, Ricky, you're muted.
Yeah, I was like, your reputation is on the line. Your livelihood is on the line. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Like I said, y'all, like, and I hate using this example, but it's so true, man. Until you get in there, man, and you get in there and you put your safety on the line fighting the guy, bro, you really don't know. I'm just being honest. It's just one of those things you got to experience it to know. You know what I'm saying?
And, you know, and here's the thing, right? A lot of people, this is what I'll let you jump in. I just want to say this final point, Arturo, is that a lot of people, they push back and they say, yeah, but Divine, like when fighters want to continue, they don't know themselves, right? The referee's there to protect them and save them, and fighters die, they get damaged. I understand it. But this is a violent sport. I don't think I can't speak for Muhammad Ali, right? But I'm curious if somebody were to sit down with him and say, "Hey, Muhammad Ali, you had an amazing career, and if you can take it back, would you want a referee to stop the George Foreman fight?" Granted, Muhammad Ali wasn't knocked down, but Muhammad Ali took some hellacious shots from George Foreman in that fight. As a matter of fact, George Foreman, in his book, I believe, said it's one of his biggest regrets, and he can't even go back and watch that fight against Muhammad Ali because he felt his knuckles crack Muhammad Ali's skull, and it haunted him. It still haunts him to this day. And Muhammad Ali stood up by pure grit and determination and heart in that fight. Do you think Muhammad Ali said, yeah, you know what, man? I think that fight wasn't worth it. I think the ref I was taking too much damage. He should have just stopped it. This is what I'm talking about. These men sign up for this shit, man. And when you get a referee to jump in and call it like that, like, it's heartbreaking, you know, especially at this level. Amateurs, I get it. Prospect level, yeah, I get it. But not at this level, man. You got to let these men go on their shield, and women for that matter. That's just my opinion. So, Arturo, I think you were going to say something.
No, I agree with you. Even being a Canelo fan, I wish they would have let Plant run out. Those are his first 2 knockdowns. It's in the championship rounds. There's no reason to stop it. Let him be knocked out, or his corner. I mean, that's why he has a corner. They could stop the fight if they really felt he was damaged. But he was trying to get up. It wasn't like he was laying there for, trying to beat the count, and he was stumbling all over the place. So I thought that was a bad stoppage myself. I thought they should have let that go on. And then as far as the point scoring or the refereeing, the judging and stuff like that, that's something that's been forever. I've been saying that forever. It's like they do need to fix that issue. This isn't like a Canelo problem or all Canelo fights. I think it's just boxing in general. I agree with you that we should be fighting for a clean sport and finding out a way to enforce the rules. Otherwise, again, why have the rules if we're not going to enforce them? That's stupid. So I thought it was a great fight. And, I told you before, I thought it was going to be a great fight. I thought it went down exactly the way I thought it was going to. I thought Caleb was going to pose a real, like everyone that was here at my house when we were watching the fight, going like, it's going to be a hard fight. No, they're going to knock him out quick. I'm like, no, they're not. You don't just watch the film.
Well,
look at the dude. Just, yeah.
And here's another, and I appreciate that, Arturo, man. I appreciate that transparency. But let's put it in perspective for a moment. Wouldn't you say that Wilder was way more tired and way more hurt in the third fight against Fury than what Plant was? And Mora didn't call that fight. He finally did, yeah, at the end. But Wilder got dropped how many times? 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wilder got dropped 3 times in that fight. Legs clearly gone from basically the 5th round on. Some would argue before that.
I thought that. I thought he had no legs before the first knockdown. I really lie. He looked like a zombie from the first round. I wasn't impressed by the first round.
So we're talking about the same referee here, people. Same referee. 5 knockdowns in a heavyweight match. Who do you think is going to do more damage? A heavyweight, a guy that's 270 pounds, or Canelo over there that weighs 170? He let 5 knockdowns happen in a heavyweight fight. Okay? Fury himself got knocked down twice in the same round. And Mora gave him an 8 count. Mora gave him an 8 count. He even stopped the count because Wilder supposedly went to the wrong corner or whatever. I'm not going to get into that, but he got it. He got his count, right? And so you say, oh, but that was earlier in the fight, Divine. So it doesn't matter how you cut it or slice it. Russell Mora is inconsistent.
Exactly. That's the word I was thinking. Inconsistent.
Period. So if you're over there and I see a couple guys and this guy named Brian, he said, oh, bro, but his eyes rolled back in his head. Okay. Then why didn't Jack Reese call the fight off against Fury then when his eyes rolled up back of his head in the 12th round? Can somebody explain that to me? Why didn't Jack Reese call that fight off when Fury's head bounced off the canvas in the 12th round of the first fight?
They won't be able to.
Exactly.
He's making it for him. It's reffing. It's not boxing for him. It's the sport is called reffing. He makes the show about him. He always gets in the cameras and tells fighters what they really need to do and what they shouldn't do. Or I saw the Tank Davis versus Gamboa fight, and they were just trying to get a clear shot of Tank in the corner after the fight, and then Jack Reese jumps in. And he's like, "No cameras, no cameras." And I'm just like, what's wrong with this guy? He's like some superstar. The show is about him. We came here to see Jack Reese, and that's not it at all.
Yeah. So when people say, like, yeah, but Divine, like, he was hurt and it's a good stoppage, and that's a cop out.
Yep.
You're letting inconsistency off the hook. That's what you're doing. You're letting refereeing inconsistencies off the hook. Oh, but Divine, he's there to protect him. All right. You want me to go down the list? Oh, I will give you a stone cold stunner on how many times referees be fucking up in fights and being inconsistent. You ain't ready for me to drop that heat on you.
Man, a true ref was supposed to be invisible in the fight when you keep it above 50, bro. A good ref is invisible in the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely. They only get engaged because they have to. They have to.
Like I said.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
I just look at the end of the day, man. Like, I think in my head when the second knockdown happened, I was already like, oh, he's down again. Here comes the count. Because I'm thinking, okay, Russell Mora, Fury Wilder, right? Fucking knockdowns all over the place. And he's counting all the time. Now, when Wilder went down that last time, when he finally called it off, that's a good stoppage. Wilder landed on his face.
But that's all.
He wasn't moving. He didn't move. He's just out.
Like, I wanted the Wilder to win. Y'all already know how I felt about that, right? But that's all Wilder wanted was his get back, bro. He wanted to go out on his shield. That's what he said from the beginning. But it's like I said, man, y'all already know how. I got to go, LeBron. I got errands to run, man. I just want to shout you out, man. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate. Thanks for coming back, man. Like, you make my day sometimes, God. I appreciate it. Everybody else, take care of yourself. Please subscribe to K-Rod, TS Boxing, everybody, man. It's a lot of great content creators out here. Subscribe to my channel. I got a great giveaway coming for Christmas, but you got to be You got to be an active subscriber. Make sure you come and check me out, and you will know what you will win. I'm not going to tell you on this because I want you to come over there and check it out, right? But again, shout out, peace to you guys. Y'all take care of yourselves and y'all family. I guarantee y'all everything else will take care of itself. Congratulations to Canelo Alvarez for getting the W, and congratulations to Caleb Plant for being a great opponent. And that's all I got. Take care of yourself, bro.
Absolutely. Good to see you, bro. Anytime, man.
Always, bro. I appreciate you. One love, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Divine, would you agree that they also, by stopping that fight early, not only do they damage Plant, but they also damage Canelo? Because then we're starting to have these conversations like, would he have or would he have? I think they should have let that fight roll through so that way it'd be clear cut and there's no question. And like you said, it's prize fighting, and they're there to, they know the risk. That's what they signed up for. So why not let it run all the way through? Because to me, when I saw him stop the fight, I'm like, the first thing is everyone's gonna come out. It's an early stoppage. It shouldn't have stopped the fight. And I'm like, man, they should have just let it go, and that way we could see how it was gonna shake out.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that if I had to put money on it, if Plant did get up after that second knockdown, he might have got out of the 11th round. I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if he took a couple more big shots, and then more have called it off. But you just got to give him that opportunity. You got to. And that's my biggest complaint.
100%.
And it's like, but he's going to take more damage, Divine. But again, that's what they signed up for, man. It's championship fighting. We got Town Business in the building. What's up, bro? He says, I got to look at the fight again, but until the stoppage, I had Caleb Plant winning the fight. It almost seemed like the fix was in. Yeah, watch it again, Town Business, man. Longtime subscriber of mine, much respect and love. And you're always welcome on the panel. Go check out my man, Town Business. He's got a channel out here. Drops a lot of fire content. So, yeah, man, look, I think for me, it started there, and I know, Arturo, you were watching me live, and I know you said you were busy with your family, so you couldn't really comment. But I was enjoying the fight, man. I was on the edge of my seat, and I was scoring the fight, and Plant was doing good things, Canelo was doing good things, and I'm like, and I always had in the back of my head, like, Canelo has that one punch that can just change the fight. Even though I had Plant winning, Canelo has it. So that's what puts me on the edge of my seat, right? It's like, is it going to come? Is he going to get that left hook in there? And I saw Plant starting to slow down and get tired, and Canelo looked like he had a little bit more energy. So I knew the possibility was high of him getting caught with something. But when it was called that way, that upset me. Then the scorecards came out. And then I was really, really lit at that point. Because I don't have any problem giving Canelo his props. At the end of the day, what was this fight about? This fight was about history. Right? This fight was about getting that undisputed champion. It's a victory for boxing. But you're right, Arturo. It should be a victory for boxing in a clear-cut and concise way. Not having a conversation like this. Like, why did the referee do what he did? Why did we have these scorecards like we had? Was the fix in? Because now that's the conversation, Arturo. That is the conversation now amongst a lot of people. It may not be the majority.
Which is terrible.
The majority of the people are like, oh, yeah, Canelo's the champ. Yeah, congratulations to Canelo. But there's going to be some diehard boxing fans out here like myself, like Ricky, like others. They're going to be saying, when I see scorecards like that, you got them up 8 rounds to 2. Like, damn. And if this fight would have went 12 rounds, and they had Canelo winning 10 rounds to 2, they would have been talking about robbery. I guarantee you that. A lot of people would have been talking about robbery because you don't have a scorecard like that, man. You just can't have a scorecard like that. Like, 10 to 2, like, really? Like, for me, 7, like, if you give I'm trying to think, 8 to 4, like, I can maybe have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's just, it's just a conversation of robbery, in my opinion. And that's unfortunate.
I think you're 100% right.
Deanna Branch, you were in this chat for a long time today. I appreciate you. I know you might be out by now, but respect and thank you so much. Just to let you guys know, man, we got the poll going. Who did you have winning the fight before the stoppage? Right now, the poll's 53% where people had Canelo up. 47% had Plant up before the stoppage. So pretty close. The unfortunate thing is that it's quite obvious that Canelo fans, they're clicking in, they see the poll, they vote, and they're rolling out. That's unfortunate because we have 133 votes, but only 88 likes. So a 40-person discrepancy, and that's unfortunate. If you guys haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button. It does mean a lot. Lets the people know that we're having a conversation. And, for the life, Arturo and TS.
Yeah.
It would be so easy, right, for me to just come on here and be like, oh, yay, congratulations to Canelo, and yeah, it's great, and play the narrative and get 5,000 likes. But I'm just not built that way, man. I'm not in it for that. I'm not on YouTube for that. And if it was Canelo and it was Plant, I would have the same energy. If Canelo got dropped for the second time and Russell Moore called it, I would have the same energy. I just don't get down like that, man.
From at my household, I'll tell you this: Plant got a bunch of new fans from. I know that a lot of people now, at least they came over and watched the fight. They'll pay to watch Plant fight his next fight. He gained a lot of respect going out on the Shield, at least in battling the whole fight and doing what he did versus Canelo. And again, I always thought Plant was exactly what he was, but all the other people, they were like, nah, Plant's not going to last. He ain't going to be able to hang. I mean, he proved it all night long. So it was super entertaining. It was a great fight. Probably my most favorite fight since probably Triple G, as far as fight-wise.
Yeah, and I did see some credit on Twitter and stuff like that where people were giving Plant a shout out. Which is good to see. It's just unfortunately a minority, and maybe I just grow up old school. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to give credit where credit's due. To sit up there and beat your drum and toot your horn and talk about Canelo's the greatest. Well, doesn't he got to beat great fighters to be great? Right? He's got to beat great fighters in order to be great. So give respect to the men that he had to face off against. And when you discredit these opponents that he's beaten, all you're doing is telling me that, well, then I guess he hasn't fought anybody that's difficult then. His resume ain't shit then. That's the way I look at it when people act that way. Big
I
dog
agree.
back in
That's
the
when we
building.
were.
Yeah, what's up? Is my phone still acting funny?
Sounds better now.
Okay. Go ahead. Whoever's talking, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why when I was saying Divine, when I was like, I hope, he goes on the Shield and it's a work, so that way Canelo gets his credit, and he did. He did everything that I thought he would, and what you guys were saying. He went out there and battled the whole fight. It was a great fight. It's definitely worth the money. Just unfortunate when you have to talk about all the other side stuff. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate, but that's boxing, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Arturo, I just want to say thank you for coming on and you had Canelo winning and explaining your case, because there's a lot of people who are just running their mouths and say, "Oh, Canelo won every single round," and blah 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 blah, without even saying it just because they want to say it. And I appreciate you coming on and and actually joining the panel and saying what you had to say. I appreciate that shit.
100%. I appreciate you guys having me on.
It takes courage, man. It does. It takes a certain amount of courage to jump on here and say how you feel. And FYI, anybody, I don't know if this is a factor, but anybody out there listening and you want to click in, you want to say something, but maybe English is not your first language, we have plenty of people on the panel that speak Spanish, so not an excuse. I'm just letting you guys know. I don't know if that's a factor or not. I doubt it, though.
No,
I doubt it. It's probably more so just it's just cowards, man. I understand that not everybody can just click the link and jump in, and people are out doing shit or whatever. But if you're spending 30 minutes talking shit in the chat, you can spend 5-10 minutes to come in here and state your case.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Yeah, it's it's annoying. It is. It's like this guy. There's a guy on there, and people know what I'm talking about. It's just saying, "Oh, Canelo won, Canelo won, Canelo won, Canelo won," and it's like, well, get up there and tell you why Canelo won. Just don't keep saying it. It doesn't help because nobody's going to take you seriously. And that's how the division in boxing between boxing fans, that's how it happens, because nobody wants to tell you why he thought Canelo was up 6-4. I mean, like Charles came on here and told us the reason why. I respect that. I might not agree with him, but at least he gave me a good reason why, instead of just saying he won and because Canelo's Canelo. It's
yeah. You can't do that. You can't come in here and be like, "Oh, Canelo won because he's strong." I mean, get that elementary shit up out of here, man. It's a grown man talk out here. Got time for that shit. All you just running around and clapping your hands and smashing the tambourines together. I ain't got time for that shit, man. We here talking boxing. If you can't do it, then click the dislike button and head on out.
Hey, Divine, I had said something about refereeing, and I had named some referees from the past, like Mills Lane and a couple of other people. Whatever happened to those type of referees?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Mills Lane might have retired.
I know he retired, but what happened to that?
Yeah.
Those type of
those type of referees. Yeah. That's a good question, man. I was saying this earlier. I don't know if you caught it. Not this live stream, but I think a few previous ones. I mentioned that when you watch boxing at a lower level, like back in the day when they had like ESPN Friday night fights and stuff like that, like the prospect level or like the new pros coming up.
Mm-hmm.
They have good referees for those fights, man. But it's referees that you don't see at the championship level. The championship level, the pool is so small. They've got like maybe 8 to 12 referees that they alternate through, depending on, if it's WBO, BA, BC, IBF, ring, or whatever. But it's a small pool, man. And that's why you see a lot of the similar faces like Kenny Bayless and Russell Mora and Jack Reese and these guys.
But but you said that, like you said, the referees are being paid. Who brought that up? Was it Ricky earlier? Referees are being paid by the sanctioning bodies and or the promoters, right?
It was the judges. The judges are hired by the promoters and given a contract through the promoters.
Okay, who hires is it the state that hires the referee?
I think don't quote me on it, but I think it's a collaboration between like the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the promoters also have a preference as well.
Cameron Mills Lane used to be in every single big fight, like from all weight classes from the 80s and 90s. So it just like, I mean, I'm just like, it's refereeing. You said they're better at the lower levels. It's like, I don't know, man. It's really weird how it has really changed.
I don't know exactly how, like, you get good referees that I've noticed at the lower levels, like the prospect level even, and then all of a sudden there's like this weird like bottleneck, and those referees don't move up. And I don't know if you guys noticed too, a lot of the referees that we mentioned, like Jack and Russell Moore and these guys, and even at one point, what the hell's his name that refereed Mayweather Ortiz? I always forget his damn name.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name either. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but these guys, they're all like 50 up. They're all in their 50s and up. And you're saying, well, Devon, why do you bring that up? Well, because, athleticism as a referee and being sharp makes a difference.
Mills Lane was sharp. And he was.
He was. And look, and you do get some older referees that have the experience, and that does play a factor. But what I'm saying is, in the prospect levels, you'll get referees that are like active and sharp and energetic, and and so it looks better aesthetically because you have another younger referee. So I don't know how the bottleneck works exactly on how like you got to get up to that championship level. Obviously, right, because it's more money. You get paid a lot more as a referee to referee those big fights. So I think it's really just comes down to resume. You got to have a certain amount of fights under your belt to be even considered to be at that level. That's what I'm assuming that it is. That's what makes the most sense.
I guess. I don't know. I see the same referees refereeing the same fights for the last 8 years.
Henry Stewart, what's good?
What's up? I thought I'd come in here and lay down the opinion.
Lay it down. Lay it on us. Are you still there?
Yeah, I thought Canelo won 8-2, or you could even make the argument of 9-1 because you got to agree a lot of the rounds were close. Am I right?
Sure, you can.
So when a round is close, you go to the man that is controlling the ring, and that was Canelo. You go to the man that's landing the more power punches, and that was Canelo. So my advice to you is to stop bitching and trying to get views.
Wow,
what a bitch ass troll.
Yeah, he's like what, 12 years old or something like that.
Yeah,
learning early, huh? He's learning early.
Yep, he's learning early today.
Oh god damn!
He's 20. He's gonna be a professional troll.
I don't really like when people say that it's to stop complaining or whatever. First people to say that other people are complaining or crying do that their whole lives because they have shit to complain about. It's just so irritating to me whenever somebody say, "Oh man, stop complaining." Like they're probably losers that are doing nothing themselves to complain about. Like if they were even to complain, it'd be about like picking up a pencil or walk and getting their fat ass up somewhere. Like they don't really do anything.
Yeah, they're cowards in real life.
That's what happens though when you make the link public like that. You're gonna get some people that come in there and try to, do a little sneak shot. And I'm not gonna fucking lose any sleep over a 12-year-old trying to tell me anything about boxing.
Right.
But it was worth the laugh. I was sitting there listening. Like I almost said to him, "Where's your mom at? Give your mom back the iPad. What are you doing, bro?"
Yeah, he's bored. It's a Sunday. He has nothing else to do but masturbate and listen to this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he probably watched the fight with his dad or something, and his dad was ranting and raving on how amazing Canelo is, and yeah, trying to find something to do.
Does does anyone know why Plant hasn't talked to the public yet, or what's going on?
I think he's just trying to take some time off, try to get his mind straight.
Yeah, and one thing that I did enjoy seeing, to be honest with you, is that they did embrace each other in the middle of the ring and have a conversation. Um, I was saying earlier to Ricky that boxing has a way to humble people, and a lot was said. I don't think Plant regrets saying what he said in regards to the cheating. I think that he really truly did believe that. But the two men, they put everything on the line last night. You know what I mean? And it's good to see them shake hands. And they had like a 5-minute conversation going on. And I think the respect is mutual. And that is good to see when two men are able to do that.
And when you whoop each other's ass and people are getting punched in the face, it really is. That's like, when people pick up guns before they can get ass whooping or whoop somebody. It really make you think about shit. But that's
Yeah.
That's that old school hood mentality. You fight, and then once you're all done, you pick someone up and say, "Are we cool?" Yeah, and you let it be. And so that was good to see.
Very good to see. And somebody shared something about about what was said, and I think Canelo said Caleb mentioned something about he didn't mean, or he said that he didn't want Canelo to take the whole motherfucker thing the wrong way, because he lost his mother and stuff like that. So they had a little heart to heart, and like I said, boxing humbles you. You become soft real quick, man. When you're in that type of situation coming out of a big fight like that. We got a guy in here with Caleb Plant something or another. I don't know. I can't see your entire name trying to get up in here. You're going to have to verify yourself, bro. I don't got no time for no trolling bullshit. Go ahead, K-Rod.
No, I was just going to add him to say that, even when I used to wrestle back in high school, every time when I went to war with, some top level competition, I wasn't talking shit, but some guys that you be running into, they got that hothead, mentality where they just want to kill you, and similar to boxing, when you go to war with somebody in the ring, the attentions are high, but at the end of the day, this is supposed to be a sport, not to be killing nobody. It's just for you to just show who you are as an athlete. And you just give it your best shot, and whoever wins.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Arturo, I don't know why he said something, but he will. I think he will. It just he took a loss, man. It's not every fighter takes a loss the same way. And I think he's just spending time, with his wife and his friends and just kind of soaking up the moment or what have you. But I think he'll come out and give his piece, at least, if not in the public, but maybe something in writing or something. He'll say something for sure.
Yeah.
And he just needs to be reminded that hopefully his team is telling him how great of a job that he did. Hopefully he's spoken to his manager and the promotion team as well, to let him know that the promotion was a success. The pay-per-view hopefully did decent numbers, boost his spirits up a little bit, because he was part of a great fight. It takes two men or women to put on a great show. You know what I mean? Canelo couldn't do that shit by himself. So hopefully he has the right people around him to boost his energy up a little bit. But, he took a tough loss. I know he went into concussion protocol right after the fight, and that's why he didn't do the press conference, the post-fight press conference. But, like I said, some people just take losses a little bit differently, man, and he probably just needs some time to wrap his head around it. And that just kind of does prove it, in my opinion, on why, proves the fact that he wasn't there just to get a payday. He was really there to win. And his reaction after the fight kind of shows that. He was definitely disappointed that it went down the way that it went down. And, when he got dropped the first time, he tried to be smooth and try to play it off. You know what I mean? He's a little bit embarrassed from that knockdown. You can tell.
Yeah.
Where do you think? I see eye to eye in the chat, and that's what I was thinking because he lined himself back with Showtime to fight Charlo or something like that in May. Would probably be good.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap it up with some final thoughts. I've been going for 3 hours now, and basically this whole live stream was just me pointing out the scorecards and how I feel like it's a disgraceful presentation of the scorecards. I've said what I've said. So, let's wrap it up with some final thoughts with saying, or giving your opinion on what is next for Alvarez and what's next for Caleb Plant. Where do you see their careers going? And let the people know as well if you got a channel on here. I think K-Rod's the only one on here that's on the panel right now that has an active channel. But yeah, the mic is yours. Let the people know where you see the future of Canelo, Plant, and all that good stuff. So I'll swing it over to TS, aka Tyrone, to give his opinion first.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on. This is the first time I've been on. I actually was subbed to you on your new channel when you had 70 subs or something like that. I think on this channel. So yeah, I've followed you for a while on this channel. It was a decent fight last night. I'm interested to see where both guys go. I mean, the thing is with Caleb Plant now, he shot up and he fought Canelo, so they're going to force him into fights with like Benavidez or other guys. So we'll see. But I mean, they could get money and bring some other guys like Saunders or whatever, or Callum Smith. Well, Callum Smith moved up to 175 for him to fight. That would be good. Canelo, I think, could wait on the Beterbiev Brown outcome or fight Charlo in May. So I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Arturo.
Yes, sir. So I think that the Beterbiev and Bobal fight will be put in the back burner. I really don't think Canelo wants to go up to 175. I think he may to try to shoot for that undisputed at 175, but I don't see it. I think I see him doing Charlo next, fighting Charlo. That would make probably the most sense, and then make David Benavidez with Plant. Man, he had the same options. I think that he needs to just get back in there. I don't know if they're going to give him another tune-up fight before he slides in because of the loss and wanting to get his head right. Instead of getting into it with Benavidez or Charlo, but we'll see. But I think I would love to see him and Charlo go at it, and then drop Canelo versus Benavidez, because I think that's what everyone's clamoring for Canelo to fight Benavidez, and then give Plant Charlo, and then if they both win, do a rematch. That's what I would love to see.
Yeah, good stuff, man. It's good stuff. K-Rod, let him know, man. What do you see the future for Plant, and what's the future for Canelo?
Oh man, well, I think Canelo's future could either be one, he can just continue fighting at 168, or maybe give it a shot at 175. But I think 168 is his comfortable ground zone for him to be in. But for Caleb Plant, he's not out of the woods. He's a tremendous talent, and his skill set only just got better from not only losing to Canelo, but giving Canelo his toughest fight ever. So I think his style is just going to keep meshing more to a much more competitive, dangerous one in the future. And I like to see him in there maybe with Anthony Durrell first, just to get back into the swing of things. And if he's successful against him, then move forward to go after the bigger lions like David Benavidez or.
You look like a Walmart Max Kellerman, you
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, go after Anthony Durrell first, see what happens, and then definitely test out what the waters with David Benavidez or Charlo or whoever is up there at the top. But either way, both men's legacy are basically set. But at this point for Canelo and Plant's career, it's just basically padding more legacy goals for bigger success. So either way, the future for boxing is very bright and very strong, and I'm definitely looking forward to what's coming next.
And don't sleep on Triple G possibly fighting Canelo just because of the money the zone might pay out to close out, especially if he wins in December. I could see that as well. Though I don't,
Yeah,
me personally, I don't want to see it, but I think that might be a definitely a possibility. And I agree with J-Rod. Durrell, since he won on the undercard, that would be a great fight for Plant too to get back into rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the possibility of a Triple G fight. Wow. Yeah. Who's this, man? Yeah, I just realized too that Big Dog, he got a troll account out here. Someone took his picture. Someone took his picture and his name, obviously. And I saw this troll account over on someone else's channel too.
Yeah.
We had another guy, Devin. I know Devin Blocker too, man. It looks like these trolls are taking these dudes' names to try to confuse me. This shit's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
They're hijacking people's fucking profiles now.
That's why they're trolls, man.
Wow. Yeah, so I was mentioning it a little bit earlier for Plant. I don't know what he's going to do next. I know that he'll be back though, and you know he's 29 years old. He's still got a bright future ahead of him, and he's learned a lot from this Canelo fight. I mean, this is a huge learning curve / experience for Plant, and I think he's only going to get better from here, based off of what he had to go through. I wouldn't mind seeing Plant Benavidez. And I know Benavidez wants Canelo, and they want to make that fight and stuff like that. But you know, or to K-Rod's point, you know, fighting Durrell, I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Get another win under his belt against a quality fighter. And a lot of people have complained about Plant's resume, so get some notable wins under your belt and see how the belts all fall in the next year or so. We don't know if Canelo's going to hold on to him. He may drop all the belts and vacate the titles and move up to 175. We just don't know how it's all going to unfold. Usually undisputed champions don't last very long. I mean, it's a lot of belts to hold on to, and each belt has different rules on fighting mandatories and stuff like that. So unless Canelo surprises us all and stays in 168 and defends all these titles, I see them being vacated in the near future, personally.
Yeah.
As far as Canelo, I don't know. There's some rumors already starting to float around that he's going to fight Benavidez in May. That'll be a hell of a matchup. But I was saying earlier how, you know, Benavidez has something that Plant doesn't have, and that's power. But Plant also has something that Benavidez doesn't have, which is boxing skill. And it's like, do I want to see Canelo possibly hurt in a fight? Of course. Does Benavidez have a chance? Yes. But I still believe that it's a boxer that beats Canelo. That's just my personal opinion. So, yeah, I see Platt Boy dropping in the building, DP Rocker in the building, Don Shota also in the building. Don Shota, official member of the channel, says Plant didn't have the power to make Canelo respect him. How could he add power on his shots? I think he'll be much better from this fight. Oh, he will definitely be better. He's learned a lot from it. And you know, sometimes, you know, pure boxers like Plant, when they're in a close fight or they get beaten in a fight, you know, sometimes they do go back to the drawing board and learn how to, you know, put some little bit more mustard, as they like to say, on those punches, you know, get the hips behind there and improve that power. And, you know, this is, like I said, a loss sometimes is something that that any athlete can learn from and improve from. I mean, look at what happened to Canelo when he lost to Mayweather. You know, he propelled to stardom after taking that loss. So yeah, Flatboy Gaming says Brian Custer said in a quick interview that Charlo's team had a meeting with Canelo's team during fight week. Yeah, there's going to be so many rumors floating around the next week or two. I've heard some very strong, reliable rumors about Benavidez and Canelo as well. So, you know, we just have to buckle our seats and wait to see what happens. But at the end of the day, we've got Porter and Crawford right around the corner. And I'm looking forward to that fight. So be on the lookout for all of my prediction videos and breakdown videos of that fight. And when it's all said and done, I predicted the fight right. I picked Canelo to win. I was rooting for Plant. Ultimately, Canelo won. So officially, I believe since I've recreated this channel, I am now 5-1 when it comes to predicting fights. And when I predict fights, I don't use emotion. I use my fight breakdown ability. And I knew that this was something where Plant would have to do something absolutely out of this world to win the fight. And that's exactly why I picked Canelo. So if you guys want the predictions and the fight breakdowns, you guys know where to go, man. Hit up your boy Divine Sense. If you haven't hit that like button yet, make sure you go ahead and jab that like button. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of conversation, make sure that you subscribe to stay a part of that conversation. And, of course, hit the notification bell. That's how you guys get alerted anytime I go live or drop a video. Shout out to Tyrone, a.k.a. TS Boxing, for dropping in, being a part of the conversation. Of course, my man Arturo and K-Rod. We had Ricky Williams on earlier. Great conversation. A long live today, 3 hours strong. Hopefully we got the message out there. I appreciate all you guys, man. Everyone stay up, stay safe, stay strong, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
See you later. Thank you.